Whoa. Whoa. One time for the one time. Turn up. Bang the like button on y'all way in. Bang the like button on y'all way in, family. We're gonna get to it. Cause it ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know when we do it, turn up. You know, I might as well just go come out here and flex one time right now. I might as well just go ahead on and flex before we even turn up in the bills. Got some news y'all can use. Hey, before we get started, family, let's share the video. Get some more people in here. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this type of information, these type of bills right here, I'm about to move them over to the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all pulling up and coming to rock with me. But this type of information you can't get nowhere else on YouTube, homie. Ain't nobody digging this deep. You feel me? Especially when it come down to, you know what I'm saying, what really happened. Ain't nobody doing it like this, homie. And so I might as well just take this type of content over there to Patreon. You feel me? When I be dropping these type of bills, man, I don't get too much. You feel me? The message don't get out. And since I'm not reaching the people anyway, I might as well just deal with the people who are loyal to me. You feel me? My true supporters that tap in with me on Patreon. You feel me? Like right now, we have like 20 people in here, 20-something people in here. You feel me? It's a crying shame. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody that's out there, but it's a crying shame. I'm about to give you something you ain't never heard before. You feel me? And I'm about to show you where to get the information from. I hear a lot of niggas pump faking and guessing on a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this shit a long time. I know when a nigga knows something. In a real way, homie. And I know what I'm giving niggas ain't got. I came up in this shit, I ain't had no master teacher. And so a lot of niggas is out here kicking shit that they learned from somebody, you feel me? And then they run out of information when it's no more to learn, they run out of information, you feel me? When they gotta start going to get it themselves, they ain't, you know, I'm just gonna be honest about this shit, homie. But it's a day of celebration. So we're gonna do this one right here for the ancestors. But this probably be my last one. I got the bills on the 5 civilized tribes, the hijackings of the 5 civilized tribes. If y'all haven't seen the Cherokee and the Creek joints, I'm about to take them down and move them over to my Patreon. So I got the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, and the Seminoles coming up. Those 3 will be on the Patreon, you feel me? And you know, ain't no pump faking and guessing on this end, nigga. I'm telling you. All the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed, homie. And I'm gonna give you some shit you ain't never ever heard. And you know, we walk shit down on this end. We're gonna give you the beginning, the middle, and the end. We're gonna give you the whole story on what happened, what broke down, from when the treaties got signed, who signed them, who was running shit, all this type of shit, you feel me? And I'm gonna show you where you get the information from. It's gonna be a little more personal, you know what I'm saying? Like over there in the Patreon, I can get, you know what I mean? It ain't too many of us over there, so it could be some real one-on-one lessons type of shit over there, you feel me? But I ain't about to keep coming out here, you understand me, selling myself for cheap, you feel me, in a real way, man. I'd rather give it to my supporters, so see how many people in here now. Okay, I'm trying to get a few more people in here, and we're gonna turn up in the build. How y'all feeling out there? How y'all feeling out there? You know what I'm saying? You are now rocking with the best. Big Chief Top Cat in the real way. You know, this is another edition of American History with Big Chief Top Cat. You feel me? Ain't no pump faking on this end. We really got the information. Alright, and so we dealing with Juneteenth today. We're gonna go into the origins of Texas. We're gonna figure out what really happened, what's going on over here, you feel me? A lot of people don't know too much about Texas. And see, I'm gonna speak on it, homie. This where I'm from. I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas boy. You know what I mean? I'm a Texas boy like a motherfucker. Texas has a lot of history. Texas is really can sustain itself. You don't even have to leave out of Texas. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of our entertainers and shit, they get rich just by being local niggas. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have to leave out and explore. Everything you need is right there. And then we have the biggest port in the world right there in Houston, where I'm from. You feel me? And so you got oil. You know, there's plentiful resources around you. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of history in there too. We can go and get started. You know what I mean? I don't think too many more people gonna pull up, so they're gonna run through the roll call. Who in the building? Big walk in there, hoe one time for the one time. LDBC strong. Got them L's up. Chad Murdoch right behind him. I see you, family. Courtney Mitchell. Tree said, let's go. Got Johnson in the building. He say, what it do, Ty Cat? What it do, family? Fade in the building. Yup. BNB boxing. My nigga. We got Freedom Moore in the building. How you doing, Queen? Come give my hug. Come hug my neck. Nay in the building. Rude Ebo. KSR. Bert from walking in this motherfucker. My nigga. Top shooter. Yeah. Goddamn right. Bert gonna go get it and come back with it. Had one of these niggas roped up, dragging him on the back of the horse, goddamn. You understand me? He gonna pull up, dragging him on the back of the horse. Yo. Free to say, sounded like her cousin, goddamn. We gonna be kissing cousins fucking with me. You know what I'm talking about? Alright, it's like this, everybody. But that's all that is getting me. David Scott the third, Deion Williams, Joe Jack in the building. He said, they be doing you wrong, bro. You used to get promo talking about pussy and street shit. Yeah. Nigga pull up for the bullshit, but for the, the information. But I'm gonna keep it real though, Jack. Be a lot more motherfuckers in here than you think. Niggas be in the back taking notes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to show their face. Niggas in the back taking notes. Winston Lee, I see you. Even Duncan in the building. Super Dad, I see you. Terra, what's up with it, Terra? Come get my hood, goddamn. Original one in the building. Pamela Eyes Wide Clear, I see you. Take off Tyson. Michael James, 616, my nigga. Yup. Syndicate J in this motherfucker. You better believe. Lil G313, I see you. Mikey G13 in the building. Marquis Johnson, LDBC strong. I see y'all getting thick in that hoe. Yeah, thicker than Freedom Moore. Thicker than Freedom Moore. Let's go. Miko in the track. My nigga Big Ram. We're cracking with it, cuz though. Yeah. Alright. Jay Cooler down fool in this hoe. He say, nigga, you like me, you don't sleep. Hey man, hard work, dedication, you feel me? It's 2:30 in the morning right now where I'm at. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm in this bitch on the late night. You feel me? Copper Skin King, dedicated to the grind. Original copy in, I see you, Ricardo Renfield. Dedicated to the grind. Hustle Slim, I see you, family. With the boots on the grind. 10 toes in. Never less than the wind. Flamethrower in the building, goddamn. Yo, we going up. Yeah, nigga sleeping on the kid. I'm finna pound on the concrete one time, wake him up with this information. You understand me? Be busy in the house. What's up with it? All right. So man, happy Juneteenth. You know what I mean? We meet again. You know, it took everything in me not to just go to sleep. Tell you, I done drunk a cup of coffee and all type of shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I said, nah, fuck that. I got it. I'm gonna get up, man. I'm gonna go and do it. I really don't got it in me, but I said I'm gonna go and go through it. So what we gonna do? We gonna make it quick. That's what we gonna do. KSR said it's 2:30 a.m. Where you at? I'm in Dubai. She said, you sound tired, type cat. Appreciate the effort. Yeah, and endurance. Yeah, I got that endurance, girl. Hey, V12 under the hood. You better watch out there. Got that V12 under the hood, you know. I might look down and out, goddamn, but I got a little fight in me, love. You understand me? They never take me alive or get high with my 4-5. Yeah, in a real way. So we gonna do it like this here. What's up, Uncle the Bill, the Dollar Singer, in a real way. All right, so we gonna go through this here, man. I am on my last leg. Hold on, let me share my screen. We gonna tap in. We're gonna do it like this here. All right, so Juneteenth, huh? So we're gonna talk about it, man. You know, a lot of the questions, man, a lot of different people might not know what Juneteenth exactly mean. You know what I mean? A lot of people just think it's a national quote unquote black folk day. You feel me? A lot of people I see motherfuckers with their kente clouds, and even over here in Dubai, you know what I'm saying? My new little American family, they repping it, you know what I mean? And you know, they had a whole lot of African shit going on, you know, fist in the air, a whole lot of black power shit going on, man. But it's all good, you feel me? At the end of the day, you know, it's getting political. So, you know, the NFL, Nike, different people, you know what I mean, starting to come out. But actually, Juneteenth wasn't official until 1980. You know what I mean? And Texas was the first state to come out and make it official. We're gonna go into a little history and see what happened and how did this all come about, right? How did this all come about? You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I wanted to point out is the fact that you know, when I came out and I spoke about cowboy culture being uh, indigenous culture. You know what I mean? Cowboy culture being indigenous culture. And when we go into the cowboy culture, that era, and they talk about the Wild Wild West. Well, Texas was the Wild Wild West. You know what I mean? And it was law. It was lawless. You know what I mean? It was lawless. And so we're gonna do it like this here. From the 1760s through the 1880s, the Trans-Appalachian West, the Gulf Coast, and the Mississippi Valley were heavily contested imperial, racial, and ideological borderlands. In those borderlands, Native American nations, white settler groups, African American slaves contributed to intensified imperialism rivalries where Britain, France, and Spain. Hold on, let me share my screen real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Let me share my screen. We gotta warm up. Told y'all I was asleep. Fuck what you talking about, nigga. I was asleep. I was about to call it a night. You know what I'm saying? About to call it a night on the boys. About to call it a night on y'all. All right. And so we gonna come right here. Where we was at, imperial rivals were Britain, France, Spain, and the United States sought to maintain, regain, expand, and consolidate their dominions over North American continent. These powers forged something like an imperial settlement in the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars. But peace proved temporary, especially from slaveholders in the United States. The breakup of the Spanish Empire in the 1880s created new republics such as Mexico and Texas, and strengthened Indian confederations, including the Comanche Confederation from the 1810s through the 1840s. Struggles between Comanche raiders, Anglo-Texan slaveholders, and Mexican federalists and centralists proved chronic instability in Texas-Mexico Comanche borderlands. This drew the attention. Hold on, we're gonna slide down. We're gonna slide down. Hey, y'all bang the like button if y'all just now getting in. I can't see the chat. Y'all know when I go in this mode, I can't see the chat. So I need y'all to be my eyes and ears. This drew the attention of American officials who feared that instability of the borderlands of the dissolved Spanish Empire invited British expansion, especially it offered Britain an opportunity to undermine the United States. At the same time, the Great Slave Rebellion of Saint Dominic in the 1790s, a series of slave revolts in the British Caribbean beginning in the 1810, the abolition of slavery in the British Caribbean in the 1830s created an entirely new set of maritime borderlands inhabited by a nation of born in a slave rebellion and mighty empire that had abolished slavery within its own dominions and pushed emancipation everywhere. From independence through the Mexican War, the multiplicity of the threats emanating from the Native Americans and the European powers still harboring imperial dominate ambitions in North America, amplified slaveholders' fear that the American Union was susceptible to eternally exaggerated sectional regional and racial division that supposed eagerness of the Britain and France to incite slave rebellions as a means to destroy the United States in a booming trade in slave-produced commodities only added these fears. Fearful American planners saw jealous imperialism rivals, supposedly stirring up trouble with Native American, African American slaves, and white settler groups in expanding borderlands, right? So we're going to stop there, right? So we're going to come over here talk about history and slave, right? Because this whole deal is about slaves being freed, right? So we're gonna touch on it. The history of slavery in Texas, a colonial territory, then part of Mexico, later republic in 1836 in the U.S. state 1845, had begun slowly as the Spanish did not rely on it for labor during their years in Spanish Texas. The use of slavery expanded in the mid 19th centuries as white American settlers, primarily from the southeastern United States, crossed the Mississippi River and brought slaves with them. Slavery was present in Spanish America and Mexico prior to arrival of American settlers, but it was not highly developed. Okay, so contrary to a lot of beliefs, it wasn't even really no slavery in Texas. You feel me? Until after when? Until after the Indian Removal Act. Okay, right in that area of the Indian Removal Act, and after the wars of the really the wars of the early 1800s, right? Then you start seeing fractions of it as it starts to develop, right? Now, it wasn't that key or prevalent in the areas because it wasn't no settlement of white settlers down there in Texas yet, all right? So a lot of people they want in history they want to make you believe that this shit happened a long time ago when honestly slavery in Texas was fairly new, right? It wasn't even around that long. Slavery in Texas wasn't even around 100 years. Okay, it wasn't even 100 years of slavery in Texas. So that's why I want to start here at this point, and we're gonna walk it down, right? We're gonna go into history and find out well what happened if slavery didn't even last 100 years in Texas. What actually happened? What took place? How did it happen? Why did it happen? All right. The issue of slavery became a source of continental between the Anglo-American called that because they spoke English. Settlers of Spanish governors. The governors feared the growth in Anglo-American population. All right. The first non-slave in Texas was Esteban Nico, a Moor, right? And so in history, they got it jotted down. The first slave in Texas was a Moor from North Africa, right? Check it out. The first non-native slave in Texas, Esteban Nico, a Moor, right? Or they call him Little Stephen in history, a Moor from North Africa who had been captured and enslaved by the Spanish when he was a child. Esteban Nico, we're gonna call him Little Stephen, all right? Little Stephen, accompanied by his master Andres of the Narvaez expedition, was landing in present-day Tampa, trying to get around the Gulf Coast. They built 5 barges in November 1528. These went across the coast of Texas. Little Steve and Durantes Alonzo Castillo Meladano, the only survivors, spent several months living in the Barrier Island, now believed to be Galveston, Texas. Shout out to Galveston, Texas, 409 in the building, before making their way in April 1529 to the mainland, American Indians captured and enslaved the party, putting them to work as laborers. Okay, so niggas be talking this shit, but these niggas they went and grabbed them up and made them get active, right? And so they survived with the help of Castillo's fate, healing among the Indians. Later, they joined Alvarez, Nunez, Cabazes, de Vaca. 5 years later, September 1534, they escaped to the interior, although Little Stephen was still enslaved. After these events, the Spaniards treated him more as an equal, right? And so the people that originally enslaved him, he didn't went through slavery through the Indians with them, and now they treated them a little more equal, goddamn. Later, he was given leadership of a Spanish expedition. His account, along with others, with those on of the others, led to more extensive Spanish exploration in the new territory, right? And so this guy actually was real popular, right? And so better known by his slave name, Esteban Nico, Little Stephen was a North African explorer from Azamur, Morocco, serving in Spain, who became the first African explorer of North America. So they got him down in history. Some have him down in history as the first African explorer, right? And his ass ended up, or they call him Esteban the Moor. He was sold to Spanish noble in Spain about 1521 and taken in 1527 to the Spanish Narvaez expedition to establish a colony in La Florida, which at the time composed the present-day Florida and unexplored lands of the north and west, including northern Mexico. Okay, all right, now we're gonna come over here. The story gonna be we're gonna talk about some more people. We're gonna talk about in the story real prevalent. I'm actually giving y'all the I'm sleepy bill, right? All right, but we're gonna work with it, right? And so we're gonna talk about the Chattahoochee, okay? Left the Red River settlements of their ancestors to save them from disseminating Osage uses. They built new homes, tended crops, hunted and traded, unaware of growing hold on, let me see. What's the name of it? Okay, this is the Intruders, right? This here called the Intruders. So we read from the Intruders. The ancestors, they built new homes, tended crops, hunted and traded, unaware of growing a new nation. The United States American colonial were confined east of the Appalachian Mountains until they won independence from England. Okay, and so that's the Revolutionary War what they talking about, right? And so they say the colonial they were confined east of the Appalachian Mountains, right? Now, as we start going through history, we'll deal with the Stanwix Treaty, right? So when you deal with the Stanwix Treaty had to come in 1783? 17, I think it was either 1778 or 1783 or something like that. The Stanwix Treaty, right? I think it was 1783. And after this treaty, well, what this treaty did, right? The Stanwix Treaty, I ain't got to pull it up, I'm freestyling. But somebody in the crowd, Bert, my shooter, he can pull it up for me. Bert, get that date for me on the Stanwix Treaty. Get that date for me, Bert. We want to make it clear real quick. Rue, what the hell you down there laughing at? What y'all at? What's up with it, Craig J? Miko say after the Louisiana Purchase. Turn up one time, Miko. All right, Bert gonna grab the Stanwix Treaty. STAWNIX Treaty. STAWNIX, Bert. I think it was 83, right? But what happened was they end up it was between the Iroquois, you had the Cherokees, and this is what opened up expansion for the US over the Appalachian Mountains, right? And here, what they did was they ended up getting out some land that didn't belong to them, right? And this ended up creating a war, the situation between they pushed them into the Ohio River and everything, and the Shawnee had a problem with that, right? And so this is where they started expanding out, right? Coming out of the Stanwix Treaty. Okay, Bert say 1768. Okay, appreciate that love, Bert. 1768. All right. So I was off like a motherfucker, man. I'm sleepy. I'm freestyling though. He said, now why I thought they said sandwich. Look at Terry, goddamn. Go make me a sandwich, goddamn. What's up with it? Mirror in the real way. All right. And so in 68, right? That's when they started expanding. Look, I got this goddamn 1783. I'm looking at it in front of me. That's why I said 1783. That's my bad. But anyway, man, we got it right. All right, and so that's when they started expanding, popping out, right? And so it's a United States American colony and confined east of the Appalachian Mountain until they won independence from England. That was after the Revolutionary War. And the Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1783. After that, they newly recognized states claimed title to the vast tract of Indian land and stretched from the Appalachians to the Mississippi. And individual American pioneers were determined to own as much of the land as they could. All right. And so, like I said, the niggas end up purchasing that land over there, and the Shawnee had something to say about it, right? And that shit ended up creating a 40-year war. All right, individual American pioneers owned as much land as they could. Rivers were the natural highways that led to pioneers across the Appalachians to the Mississippi, right? And so the major highways now, your I-10s, your 45, your 20s, and all these other major highways, these were Indian trails. We used to move around through the streams and shit. This take you back to the Hope Wheel culture, right? The Hope Wheel, this is prehistoric culture, you feel me? So we've been navigating these rivers and these streams and shit, these large body of waters, working the shit out the Mississippi and shit, you know what I'm saying? And we had a high level of trade. It was like Amazon in the prehistoric day. So now we fast forward up into this time and we're in the 1700s. So this shit like clockwork. So that's why we was building on yesterday with the Underground Railroad. That's why when the Underground Railroad came, it was so easy for other people to move and groove and get to these different places so fast, and for us to know the maps, know the maps and shit, is because these were Indian trails. You see what I'm saying? These were Indian trails. And that's why I wanted to point out yesterday that the underground, what they call the Underground Railroad, was actually Indian trails, homie. You feel me? And this is prehistoric history that we already knew. We was already aware of. You're not going to get nobody from another landmass, you understand me, way from Africa, goddamn, and he'll be able to show you how to navigate yourself through this motherfucking in America, right? And so we use highways that led the pioneers across the Appalachians to the Mississippi. They followed the streams and places chosen for their beauty and utility, clambered onto the banks and invested their lives in the land. Adventurers, many of them unprincipled, pressed even farther west, and the tribes whose lands they settled on were forced to look for new hunting grounds and eventually new homes. Around the time the Caddo moved to Soto Lake, the Spanish governor of Louisiana asked them to share their hunting ground with the Choctaw. Shout out to the Choctaw family out there, man. The largest of the southern tribes east of the Mississippi. And when we talk about this Choctaw right here, as I remember, we talking about 1783. All right, 1783. So what took place with the hijack, a lot of these people on this side right here were still us. These were the black Choctaws over here. We're not talking about the people in the treaties and shit, which was white. Y'all gotta wait for my Choctaw bill, the 5 civilized tribe, which gonna be on Patreon, goddamn. But y'all gotta wait for that motherfucker there, and we're gonna break it down. But we talking about the 1783 Choctaws right now. All right. And so the Caddo, they wanted them to share their land, the Choctaw, the largest of the southern tribe east of the Mississippi. Spanish officials hoped that the Choctaws, bitter enemies of the Osage, would prevent the atrocities of the Osage continue to commit in the Natchitoches district. Bands of the Choctaws came hunting as far as West Texas. Bands of A's and Adi attacked them, but first there was no conflict with the Caddo, who allowed Choctaw hunters to winter with them. The Choctaws, however, had little effect discouraging Osage forays, and before long they proved to be the lesser of two evils for the Spanish as well as the Caddo. Now I ain't gonna go too far into the Choctaw because they about to turn up in this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And what was cool, they was letting them hustle on the block with them, you know what I'm saying? You know, y'all got some food over there, you know what I'm saying? Y'all hungry, I'm gonna feed you. And, you know, we were politicking and the ladies was nice, you understand me? They seen a couple Caddo men that they, you know what I mean? But see, when we go back into history to the prehistoric time, this is all Mississippi culture, okay? So these great mounds that we talk about, these are people of the mounds. You feel me? So when you talk about your Choctaws and you talking about your people of the Natchez and you going back to your Cahokias and all of this, these were our great people of the mound. These were descendants of the mound builders right here that we talking about. And so we still family in a way, and was another reason why they let them in, right? Even when you're dealing with the Caddo, right? The Caddo, you're dealing with descendants that's coming out of the place what they call Poverty Point in Louisiana that stretch all the way to East Texas. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to come from Natchez, and then you'll walk it up to Monroe. Shout out to Monroe, you feel me? I got people out of Natchez and I got family out of Monroe. And then it's gonna stretch over to East Texas, you know what I mean, to the Caddo Mounds over there. And so we with our family, and as we see, we're speaking about the Caddo Indians right now. Now we're gonna move over. So I brought them up because they're gonna be real significant in the story that we about to talk about. All right. And so we're gonna come over here. So this here is this called the Promised Land, the Cherokees, Arkansas, and removal, right? And we're gonna come from 1794, 1839. This is what we're gonna be building in, right? Let me check on y'all out there, man. How y'all feeling? What's up with it, the King the Great? Yeah, Tracy, our Choctaw sister, long-legged Choctaw sister. What's up with it, do Fat Boy Fitness? In the real way. Home of the brave said the colonists were too scared to come past the Appalachian Mountains, that wild Indian land. Yeah. And you know, we're going to the Cumberland too. You know what I mean? That was up in the area. Once they end up getting that area right there, what was this white boy name, man? He started coming over there hustling. They ended up killing his brother-in-law. Man, what's his name? He was married to a black woman named Rebecca. And even when you reading on them, they tell you that she was blacker than a million midnights. White boy name will come to me, right? I'm trying to wake up on y'all. This was in the area of Maryland. This is when they started expanding or whatever. And they end up getting a little hustle spot. And anyway, it'll come to me, man. Let me wake up. Let me turn it. Hold on. Let me get something to drink, man. Y'all bang the light button, goddamn. Wake me up out there, man. About to be 3 o'clock in the morning. We finna get the information out though. All right. Goddamn, I promised y'all I was gonna bring it, so we're gonna get it out. It may be regarded as certain that not a foot of land will ever be taken from the Indians without their own consent. The sacredness of their rights is felt by all thinking persons in America and Europe. Thomas Jefferson, 1786. Let me run that back again for the people in the back, right? It may be regarded as certain that not a foot of land will ever be taken from the Indians without their own consent. The sacredness of their rights is felt by all thinking persons in America and Europe, right? And now you know, as soon as you turn around, that white boy gonna knife you, right? He gonna put a knife right through you as soon as you turn around, all right? Rude talking about get some coffee, go make it. L Boogie say, dang, I'm gonna have to rewind. I got questions. What's up, L Boogie? Let's talk about it. What you got questions on? All right. In the mid 1820s, because of the pressure exerted by rapidly growing white settlement in western Georgia, and partly to please his cousin, Governor George M. Troup, Creek Chief William McIntosh signed a treaty with the state of Georgia, relinquishing the lands of the tribes within the state. Okay, and so he came out and signed the Treaty of Dancing Rabbit. Right now, this was 25. He did that in 25. Now, George Troup, a lot of people don't even be knowing that's George Troup, Governor George Troup, who was pro Indian removal. Right, he was a white boy. His daddy, Big McIntosh, was he married Sequoia but his sister had married a white boy, right? His sister married a white boy, and that's his little nephew. George Troup was his nephew. See, McIntosh and them, they was real powerful in the politics. Now, the hijack had gone. We went into McGilvery and all of them, man. See, that's why I say I'm gonna take that Creek bill down. The motherfuckers ain't even watching it. You know what I'm saying? But we went deep up in there. But yeah, Troop was McIntosh, that was his cousin. He relinquished the land and the tribes within the state. The cession of tribal lands was a violation of traditional Creek tribal law, and Creek tribesmen executed McIntosh, right? And he was a high yellow nigga, right? High yellow nigga. He used to dress his ass off. Nigga was over 6 feet tall, big stocky nigga. You know what I'm saying? Big stocky nigga, had some size on him. One of them high yellow nigga, you know, the bitches was all on him. He had kids from everywhere, you know what I mean? But he had 2 kids from the same tribe though. You know what I'm saying? He dealt with Sequoia and he dealt with another lady. He had little Chili by her. He had another son named Chili too. You feel me? He ended up teaming up, him and his brother and them. They signed a treaty with Albert Pike too later on to the Confederates, right? But they was trying to keep their sovereignty down there, man. You know, it's a whole nother bill though. The punishment demanded for those who violated this was most sacred tribal precept. McIntosh's widow, Peggy, a Cherokee later. I told you he was moving and grooving, okay? And so his widow, Peggy, a Cherokee, later explained why her husband signed the treaty. Government say to my husband, go to Arkansas. Go to Arkansas and you'll be better off. Okay? That's what Auntie Peggy say, now. I'm just gonna come on, bro. We ain't dealing with no mongoloids right now, family. This nigga wife name, one of them name was Sequoia, and one of them name was Peggy, right? I can't think of what you call her mama name. I can't think of Chili mama name. But Sequoia, her brother and them was crazy. Them niggas was some damn food. He tried to send Chili and Will back to because they was Highland. He was from Scotland. So he tried to send them to Highland, but he didn't ride the boat, you know what I'm saying? And the uncle and them came and got them niggas ass up off of there. Yeah, them niggas was some damn food. They weren't going for it. But she say sound Creole. I don't even want to hear nothing about no Creole. I want some. She say Big Mac, Mac Daddy. Bird say Willie Mac. Look at it. Yeah, Boogie, they got some chest hair or something, goddamn. Turn up, big. Yeah, Boogie, get it how you live. Yeah, Boogie say, yo, Boogie come up out them warm up. Y'all know how them basketball, them NBA pants with the buttons on the side, and they just them buttons pop on there. Yeah, Boogie sound like she finna come out them sweats on it on Big Wheel, goddamn Big Willie Mac. Although McIntosh must have known his accent. He used to wear a turban too. And they talk about how he folded his turban and all that. Man, I gotta get cold on mine, man, because I be over here folding mine. You feel me? I be over here folding mine, man. I gotta practice on it. You know what I'm saying? Because they say they'll have them folded under with no pins in them, right? They're like they had pins in them. And I be trying to get mine right, man. I'm gonna get it right one of these days, though. I watched a couple YouTube videos on it, you feel me? But I'll catch one of these Arabs out here and they'll put it on for me. Although McIntosh must have known his actions would result in his death, perhaps he believed, after continuing series of land cessions and broken promises, the protection of the onslaught of white settlers, the immigration of his tribe to Arkansas was the only way to save it, right? During this first 4 decades of the 19th century, Arkansas, the idea, as much as the place played an important role in attempts by the United States government to remove from the southeastern United States to west of the Mississippi River the 5 civilized tribes of Indian, Cherokee, Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. Federal authorities, including presidents from Thomas Jefferson to Andrew Jackson, sought to lure the tribes to Arkansas with promises of abundant game, arable land, and freedom for the pressures of white settlement. Hey, look, he telling them, man, don't go out there. Y'all ain't got no white folk out there. Now, the Upper Creek, right? They settled in a certain area up there in Georgia, and they ain't come out, kind of like suburbs, right? And so what's taking place now? You know what I'm saying? They came out in 1824. You get the Indian Affairs and shit, and you had these different white boys down there, planners. You had the planners class down there, whatever. These were aristocrats, and a lot of them had came up from servitude. You feel me? And had relationships after the Revolutionary War. They were able to get land, get some land and shit. And at this time, the Underground Railroad is booming, right? Because of this is results after the wars. You had the Tuskegee Wars, you had the Yamasee Wars, you had the they'll call it the French and Indian Wars, and you had the Cherokee Wars and shit like this here after the Revolutionary Wars, of course, and so a lot of things was reshaping. And so after the wars, like I always tell y'all, this was a younger group coming up. You ever watch my hijacking videos? We go we go into the treaties. We go into all the people that's playing roles in these treaties, who the key figures at this time. Now, what's taking place with these characters that you see now with these five civilized tribes, quote unquote, right? How did they become five civilized tribes, right? Now they became five civilized tribes because they adopted the plan. Now, what was the plan, right? Now, Christianity and slavery had a lot to do with it because at first, before this form of slavery didn't go on. You had Indian slavery, whereas if you lose a war and you become a prisoner of war, then you go into, you know what I mean? You go into a form of Indian bondage. All right, now what's taking place now was you had through missionary work, these white boys were building leaders. Okay, they was building leaders, and so they would take these people, mixed race, all mixed race signed these treaties at this time, and they would place them back into these communities. And so in 1825, you had Buck Whitey, right? He married the superintendent's daughter through a missionary program that he had went to Connecticut to go fuck with. Now, all right, remember we brought that out too, and the Mormons and the ten tribes of Israel, right? And so his wife, he ended up getting her pregnant, and so the superintendent they closed school down, but she wanted to go do missionary work with him because that's what they trained him up to do. He wrote the book A Star in the West, which said that the 10 tribes of Israel were over here, right? But he had got that from them. They were Puritans. His wife wanted to go do missionary work, so they sent him down to Georgia, right? And now with his uncle, Big Ridge, he had went through this program too. Remember, he got caught fucking the daughter. They wrote it in the paper. They wanted to kill him, really. And so they used him, though. They gave them status down there. And so in 25, since Boudinot, well, they ended up changing the name to Boudinot, right? So when we go into the Continental Congress, right? One of the presidents in the Continental Congress name was Elijah Boudinot. And so this is who they named Buck Whitey after, right? They just gave him a European name. But anyway, his wife, the daddy went on to settle down. She's already pregnant. And so they said, fuck it, we can get something out of it. And so now that she's pregnant, under Indian law, you would have to marry, it's matrilineal, so you have to marry a black woman, right? That's why McIntyre's got all them kids by them black folk, by them black women, Peggy and goddamn Sequoia and them and all that. And so now Buck Whitey, he done married this white chick and got her pregnant. And so now her daddy and them got legislation passed, got them to pass through legislation with these leaders who they put there. And now you don't have to marry a sister no more. You can marry a white girl and still get the same privilege. See what I'm saying? And so now this is how they started to become civilized. They didn't want them to join the because a lot of people after the wars, where they went south. They went south, right? This is where you get your all of them went south. Now it started scattering into the southeast in Florida. Motherfuckers coming out of Virginia, the Carolinas, they went to Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and you know what I mean, so on and so forth. East Tennessee, back into the Ohio River and shit in these places. Now, they didn't want these people to join they didn't want the Choctaw Cherokees, some of them, to help in the Underground Railroad. So they came and offered them a deal, right? And so a lot of this white privilege that we see, and the white folk acting like they better than you and all of this, they offered this to them. You see what I'm saying? They offered them status. They was nothing at first, and they offered them status, right? And so, as we'll see in Alabama, we'll get a lot of court cases coming back where white people were arguing about the status of these people, right? How the fuck you gonna come take my land and all of this here? You ain't doing them niggas like that. So we'll see this in legislation down in Alabama too, as things start to unfold and going into the 40s or whatever. But they offered them status. This is how, in return, that they didn't participate in the Underground Railroad. Okay, another indication on how we know that Indians conducted the Underground Railroad. They came and neutralized them, right? All mixed race, all people that they had relationships with, they put them in there, right? Anyway, move back on to the bill, goddamn. Move back on to the bill, man. How y'all feeling out there? Let me check on y'all. What's up with it? Lil Yost in the building one time. She say sucker. What y'all got going down there? She say lied and went for it. What's up, big not to wait chief in the building? In the real way. Big not to wait chief in the building. She say, see, you gotta go left with the bill. You started it, L Boogie. Don't come here blaming this shit on me. You come in here putting that poison on me. You started it. And you know you did. All right. Where we was at? Yeah, I didn't miss my spot, miss. Okay, we right here. Federal authorities, including President from Thomas Jefferson to Andrew Jackson, sought to lure the tribes to Arkansas with promise of abundant gain. Okay, we just read that. All right. However, wanted to leave their ancestral land. However, and only the Cherokees who eventually were granted a reservation in the northwest part of the state, immigrated to Arkansas in large numbers. Ultimately, Arkansas was inevitable and for almost all of the members to the 5 tribes, as the state served as a conduct for often forced and devastating removals to Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma, of the tribes in the 1830s and early 1840s. Okay, and so we went through this here. Hold on, well we'll deal with a little of this, right? The infamous of the Cherokee removal, known as the Trail of Tears, the trail where they cried. Although the removals of the tribes, particularly that of the Creeks, were equally as dolorous in terms of the numbers and deaths among and the suffering of immigrants, historically the Cherokee removal has been symbolic of the tragic fate experienced by all Native American tribes during the 19th century, right? And so they put it on Cherokee. Cherokee always been the most powerful, right? The Cherokee were a fraction of the Iroquois Confederacy, right? These were a lot of the customs of the Iroquois came from Cherokee. Cherokee language was an Iroquois language. All right. And so these were direct descendants of them. And you know, they'll even tell you that the Cherokee came from the north. You'll go through the Mingos and all these different other people, you know what I mean? Who the Cherokee came from. A lot of these niggas be talking, but they don't be know what the fuck they talking about. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I got some more shit, man. I've been talking it over my auntie about, you feel me? But we'll deal with that when that day come, right? And so the removal has been symbolic of the tragic fate experienced by all Native, where we just went there. Added to the Cherokee pathos and efforts of many of the tribesmen assimilated themselves to Anglo-American culture in the hope that they might remain in their homeland. Okay? And so it's telling you right here that a lot of them assimilated themselves in Anglo culture. A lot of them took that quote unquote white privilege card. You feel me? A lot of them cooned out in hopes that they'll be able to stay there. Now, the area that the Cherokee ended up chilling in Georgia, right? This is an old Mayan ruins, right? A lot of people, I be hearing a lot of people running around saying that Little Egypt, right? Because this Georgia, University of Georgia called it Little Egypt. They called it Little Egypt because it was pyramids there, okay? There were pyramids there, but these were pyramids that came from the mines. That's why these same they in the same sense they find languages from the Muskingi language down there, which traces of the Mayan language or whatever. But we'll deal with that a little later, right? When we start talking about the hurricanes and shit. I mean, not the hurricanes, the earthquakes and shit. We'll tap into that too. We finna walk this shit down, family. Y'all know how I do. We finna bring it to Texas. All right, we gonna bring it to Texas. I'm just slow motion right now. I'm slow motion tonight, man. Y'all gotta help me get through this. All right, and so they cooned out in hopes they might remain in their land. The wealthier Cherokees built European-style homes and farmsteads. In 1799, for example, Joseph Van, who owned 110 slaves, built a red brick Georgian-style plantation house designed by a Philadelphia architect and featured carved mantelpieces, a floating stairway in the center hall, and a two-story portico. Many Cherokee bought their furnishing from eastern cities, and many dressed in clothes in the same kinds cut as white and similar economic level. Right at this time, John Ross is the president. You had Sequoia, you had a lot of these. Now we know the Cherokee end up side with the U.S. and these relationships and these kids and they offspring or whatever came from them. You know what I mean? They way of life and that they traded on them because they felt like the other Indians traded on them. You feel me? The Cherokee started having it hard. Cherokee was the powerful one. Cherokee started having it hard in the end. Told y'all they had to pass legislation in the Carolinas to keep the to scoring them, the Catawbas, and all of them off of their ass. You know what I'm saying? And so they felt they did some 6ix9ine shit. You know what I'm saying? They felt like motherfuckers don't love us. You know what I'm saying? I might as well turn on these niggas and get some payback, right? But anyway, many of the Cherokee, okay, we went through the Cherokee developed a writing language, established a newspaper, wrote constitutional models of that of the United States, and many converted to Christianity. Now, in this process, when this here happened, right, it is all European influence. All of these niggas went to these boarding schools. Okay, all of them went to these missionary schools. This wasn't nothing that somebody just came up with. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta go back and watch my videos when I brought that out in. Okay? Them hoes, if you ain't seen them, they gonna be, as soon as I finish this build, they will be off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Them hoes coming down. Like I said, I don't be hearing no type of information like this here. Ain't no sense in me just keeping my shit up and ain't nobody watching them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go take them to my lawyer people, goddamn. But anyway, like I say, all of that right there was that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. All right, they went through that all that missionary work in the real way. All right, so the United States many converted Christianity. They also built roads, constructed mills, engaged in commerce and sin. That's why John Ross was down there trying to get sovereignty, right? We finna go a little bit into that. The children schools conducted by missionaries, okay? The children to school conducted by missionaries. By the late 1820s, the Cherokees had advanced so far in learning and culture has established themselves permanently on the soil, but it was a threat of permanence and increase that resolved the removal among white settlers and their leaders, particularly in Georgia, where gold was discovered. Okay? Y'all always be hearing me talk about the goddamn gold rush. Okay? Well, gold was discovered on Cherokee land in 1829. Y'all always hear me talking about this gold rush. You know what I'm saying? This ain't had nothing to do with ain't nobody like you. And that's why I keep telling other people, we got to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't like us because we black. No, nigga, we had a fight. Nigga, and I still remember. We had a fight and that white boy still remember when you hit him in his motherfucking eye. When he was walking around with a black eye, he still remember that. You know, you forgot. You let the shit go. So they ain't just make them get out of there. Oh, y'all got to move somebody. They found gold, nigga. You got to go. John Ross, cool or not. You know what I'm saying? He was a white boy, blue eyes, Irish. He went to the Supreme Court, got it overturned. In Jackson, they found that gold. They say, man, man, I don't give a fuck about no Supreme Court, homeboy. For real, you better get your motherfucking ass up and get up out of here, nigga. Weak ass, blue-eyed white boy. He was a little bitty motherfucker too. All right, let's turn up to the real shit, right? Let's get what we came here for, okay? Arkansas is a refuge. We finna go and tap in. All right, now we didn't end up walking all the way down to 1829. Let's back this bitch back up one time and go and turn up. Bang the light boy, bang the cash up out there, goddamn. Let me check on y'all. We finna go and get into it. We finna go and turn this motherfucker up, goddamn. We about to go and turn it up in the real way. Appreciate that love, Bert, in the real way. Dave and in the real way. Appreciate that love. We about to go and turn this motherfucker up and get what we came here for. You understand me? Arkansas in refuge. Hey, this piece right here that I got in front of me, man, this is a good piece, man. For all the people out there who's students of the game, man, this is a good piece right here, man. Don't worry about it. When we get over to Patreon, man, y'all get all of that. You know what I'm saying? Real riders and shit. But this is a good piece right here. Let's turn up. While the discovery of gold in Georgia, in effect, marked the beginning of the end for the Cherokee Nation in the East, Cherokee hopes for their homeland were doomed as far back as the 1780s. During the ratification process of the U.S. Constitution in the late 1780s, boundaries of the states of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia were drawn through Cherokee territory as if the tribe didn't exist. Later, boundaries for the new states of Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama likewise included Cherokee lands, despite the fact that the federal government and states recognized by various treaties the sovereignty of the tribe. Many white settlers showed the same lack of respect for the Cherokee territory claim, encroaching on Cherokee hunt grounds and depleting the game. Often the Cherokee reaction to the growing of white presence was a hostile one. After the American Revolution, in which the tribe sided with the British, bands of Cherokee intermittently warred with the United States. The Spanish encouraged the Cherokee to fight against the Americans, hoping the battles might halt U.S. expansion. The Cherokees lost most of their small-scale wars, with the defeats typically result in the uprising of more tribal land by the United States. Okay, look, man, we said a lot of important shit up in there, right? Because see, when you go into the late 1700s, after 1794, okay, which was real key, and I keep telling niggas, the Cherokee government wasn't formed until 1794. I'm not gonna argue with no nigga, because I already know niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. So I'm not about to argue with you. The Cherokee didn't go down into Georgia until 94. Where else did they go in 94? Okay. And the reason why we even talking about this here, we have to remember we get to talking about Texas. This build is about Texas. And so when you going into Texas and you wonder why all them niggas out there in Texas say they Cherokee, wonder why my people in them is buried in Cherokee County in Texas, we're gonna talk about it, okay? Like I said, we walk shit down around here. We ain't gonna just start right. We gonna give you the beginning, middle, and the end. Let's walk this shit down, all right? And so the Murad pressures led a few Cherokees to look to the Trans-Mississippi area for relief. In the 1780s, in search of more abundant game, small numbers of Cherokee began to spend winters hunting in the valleys of St. Francis, White, and Arkansas rivers in Spanish Louisiana. Spanish colonial records indicate that the Cherokee traded furs at Arkansas Post in the late 1780s. All right, in the early 1790s, the Cherokee traded exclusively with Carlos de Villamont, the Arkansas Post commanded during the last decade of Spanish rule. In 1792, a group of Cherokees contacted Esteban Mato, the Spanish governor of Louisiana Territory, and received permission to do what? To settle in Spanish territory west of the Mississippi. It's about to get real now. We about to turn up. We talking real history right now, okay? We talking real history. And look, homie, I've been coming out here freestyling this shit since I came on here to talk about this information. I was freestyling this. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, nigga, the nigga left, the nigga went over here. I even told you who signed the treaties and all of that. Okay, cause we know who signed the treaties. You gotta go back to my Cherokee bill. I broke that shit down in the hijacking, right? But when they left, they came and what I told y'all, I said they tried to get land in Louisiana. Remember, I always say that in my freestyle, and they couldn't get it, and they ended up in Arkansas. Okay, Carlo de Alcalá Polo, the Spanish, in 1792, a group of Cherokee contacted Esteban Mato, the Spanish governor of Louisiana Territory, and received permission to settle in Spanish territory west of the Mississippi River. That's what I've been freestyling to you niggas. So why come say, nigga, I'm the best that ever did it, got away with it, nigga. I go to sleep with this shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's on the freestyle. You know, that's why a nigga better not ever play with me about lining some shit up in no debate. You know, I embarrassed one of these niggas around. What? Man, I'm telling you, I was banging so long. I was in this Pan African chat the other day. I was in there just banging, just banging, just banging. And them niggas act like I wasn't even in the room. I ain't got no wrench in nothing needed. Ain't nobody tying me out of nothing, but them niggas, I can't get a fade to save my life, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Embarrass one of these niggas. Nigga better not come try to play with me. Anyway, the Spanish the Spanish welcomed Native Americans from eastern tribes as a buffer against attacks of the violent Osage who occupied south central Missouri and decimated by European disease by the end of the 18th century. That's who the Choctaw were beefing with, right? Don't worry about it. We're going to make it come full circle. To continue to serve their purpose, a part of the Spanish effort, Luis Lemire, a Spanish agent, established the early 1790s a sizable Shawnee in Delaware. Shout out to Bert from Orkin. Goddamn, they go Delaware. Delaware community in the vicinity of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. At this time, a small group of Cherokee also relocated from the east to the area around New Madrid, a Spanish settlement in southeastern Missouri, north of St. Francis River. More Cherokee followed, settling along the St. Francis River in northeast Arkansas. By the turn of the century, perhaps many as 1,000 Cherokees lived along the river. Many of these early immigrants were Chickamauga Cherokees, also known as the Lower Town Cherokees, right? And so these niggas coming out of Tennessee, all right? These are lower towns and shit coming out of Tennessee, right? And these were the late treaties were signed at, you know what I'm saying? The last treaty was signed in Tennessee. These are Tennesseans. They had been trying to get over there and hustle with them, but they had to actually cross the Smoky, what's called them. So they'll be coming from the Overhill chair. This would be the Overhill fraction, not the same niggas coming out the Carolinas or whatever. Or after the Powhatan Wars, they left, and you had a group of Cherokees actually move right there into Virginia and take over and start hustling on that land where the Powhatans was at, right? Now, the lower towns who resisted assimilation and sought to retain traditional religion and hunting traditions. Among the first Cherokee immigrants to settle in Arkansas was a Chickamauga leader called the Bowl. Now, the Bowl gonna be real interesting, right? And so I know a lot of, you know what I'm saying, people, if they up on game on this here, talk about Bowl, he be like, damn, Bowl was Texas. Yeah, well, we gonna walk it down, homie. It's the beginning, you a baby, then you're an adolescent, nigga, you're adult, then then your dick don't jump no more, nigga. Unless you got that Dr. Sabi juice, nigga, you on that alkaline diet. Don't be fucking with that yada diet, though, that cellular diet, that yada around here Googling this shit, and go have you niggas sick, right? Go have you niggas sick around here. All right. So, the first immigrant settled in Arkansas was a Chickamauga leader called the Bowl. According to written account by a missionary, in June 1794, a party of white immigrants traveling on a raft encountered a group of Cherokees at Muscle Shoals, Alabama, on the Tennessee River. The white immigrants saw a chance to make money and invited the Indians aboard to trade for goods. Listen to this, family. Yeah. Man, hey, man, they be right here sleeping on the kid. What's up with it, Lady T? I know I smelled your ass, goddamn. I knew I smelled your ass. T1 production in the building. What's up with it? Hold on, Frida. Let's mod you up. Let's mod you up, Frida. Cause when I look down there, girl, I want to see you. Okay. When I look down there, Frida, I want to see you. Yeah. Let my Frida up, goddamn. Bert, welcome Frida to the club. Where Omega at? Omega ain't in here. He probably sleep. After okay, where we was at? Okay, so So these white boys then brought them on. Okay, the white immigrants saw a chance to make money and invited the Indians aboard to trade for goods, including whiskey. The bold suspected the pioneers of cheating his man and complained. You know what I'm saying? So the niggas thought they was trying to hustle him. You know what I'm saying? This old argumentative bad nigga anyway. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with this nigga, he was a hothead anyway, right? The bold, he was a hothead anyway. You feel me? One of them niggas you really just don't want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Really don't even need to be fucking with you, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Bad luck having that nigga, one of them type of niggas. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Just every time you with this nigga, some shit go down. And so these niggas here, they done got into it. They done hopped on there with the white boy. They done got into it. White boy, they got these niggas look it up and shit. You know what I'm saying? And this nigga, he done got into it, talking about nigga trying to raw. Who that sound like? Don't that sound like y'all niggas? So the nigga then, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you trying to fuck over me, my nigga? And yeah. So he complained, but he received no satisfaction. With tensions high, the pioneers decided to resumption on their journey down to Tennessee might be wise. We gonna go this way, y'all go that way, right? Check it out. 3 Cherokees dawdled in the disembarkment of the pioneers and attacked them, killing one with a boat paddle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with a boat pole. You feel me? So these niggas that turned up out there, man, they got into it with these damn white boys. You feel white boys see him, they want to hustle. These niggas that got out of there talking about a nigga trying to fuck over him, and he know a nigga down the river got a better price, and you know what I'm saying? I really can, you know, my nigga, I get him, I really get him a little cheaper than this, but my nigga, he out right now, you know what I'm saying? His plug ain't coming. I have to wait till tomorrow, but I'm trying to spend with you. You know what I'm saying? Can you look out for me? And so, long story short, man, these niggas, white boy and them say, you know what, fuck it, homeboy, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna hold on to my shit. And these niggas then got down on them and beat one of them with a boat paddle, right? You niggas, you niggas ain't changed a bit, okay? What's up with it, Ricky Samuel? Rules say leave boat alone. Yeah, they beat the white boy with a boat pole. Got the Indians on shore immediately retaliated, firing the Cherokee down the Walking pioneers, and the pioneers attacked them. Oh, the white boys attacked them, killing one with a boat pole. My bad. And the Indians on shore immediately retaliated, firing their rifles on the boat and later boarding it, where they killed all the white men in the party. Okay, they killed all the white boys in the party. Okay. And so, sparing the women and the children, the bold realized U.S. authorities would expect an accounting for this incident. And he and his followers boarded the rafts and fled down the Tennessee and Ohio rivers, crossed the Mississippi, and entered the St. Francis River Valley in northeastern Arkansas. The Indians allowed the surviving white women and children, 4 faithful black men, to float down the Mississippi to New Orleans, where they reported the Muscle Shoals massacre. After more than 20 years of sporadic warfare with the U.S., in which the Chickamauga Cherokee played a leading role, the Cherokee Council decided to pursue a peace agreement with the Americans. The Cherokees of the U.S. agreed to terms in October 1794. Okay. An exception of the fraction of the tribe during the Civil War. The Cherokees have not fought a war against the U.S. since. The Muscle Shoals massacre occurred during the 10-year time between war and peace, and the Cherokee Council decided that it would be fortuitous to condemn the bold and his band in an attempt to disassociate the tribe from killing of the whites. Okay, so they turned on him. The council ordered the bold to return east to face trial, but he refused, rendering himself and his followers renegades. Okay, they was on some renegade shit. They were lawless. The Cherokee Council failure to believe his version of the Muscle Shoals massacre angered the bold, creating the first of many rifts between Cherokees in the east and those in the west. Government officials who investigated the case eventually exonerated the bold and his followers, but they did not return to their homelands. Instead, they found the rich soil, plentiful game, scarcity of white settlers in St. Francis River Valley to their liking. Okay, the bold endorsement of life in Arkansas trickled back to the east, through migrating hunting parties and contributed to the continued immigration of Cherokees to the area through the turn of the century. Okay, and so this incident right here, and so now they didn't moved out of town, right? Bring it into y'all nigga tent. He done found a play out of town. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Don't nobody know him out there. You know what I'm saying? He can go get off his shit. They got plenty of hunting grounds out there, a lot of land. And y'all know when we go somewhere else, we say it's wide open. Okay? Y'all know that. What my hustlers at in the building that they took the show on the road before. When you get out there, you say, man, they green. They so good out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody know me. It's peaceful. They got some bad women out there. Everything, man. We getting money. It's a whole lot of money out there. We can go out there and open up shop. Go out there and open up shop. Plus, back home, niggas ain't fucking with you back at home anyway. You know what I'm saying? These same little old females we grew up with, talk to them. Same one we go with. These niggas still hating. You know what I'm saying? These niggas, they got they shit going on. They already don't want to bowl around because he's certified, he dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, if I stay out here, homie, I'm gonna end up getting locked up, or I'm gonna have to kill one of these niggas, or one of them niggas gonna kill me. Y'all know how it go, homie. I keep telling y'all, you are your ancestors. This shit don't change, my nigga. You are your. I'm play with you niggas, man. About to play with you niggas, man. Bo took his show on the road, homie. The U.S. government policy of any removal had its genius during the administration of Thomas Jefferson. The desire to remove the Indians played a significant role in Jefferson's decision to pursue the acquisition of the vast territory in the West from French following the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. Jefferson hoped to lessen the trepidations between the white settlers and the Indians on eastern frontier by convincing the Indians to remove west of the Mississippi River. Jefferson saw the Arkansas region of the Louisiana Purchase as an ideal home for the eastern Indians, chiefly because it was relatively uninhabited. The Osage, who lived in western Arkansas, drove the cattle out. Okay? So they drove the cattle out. Now the cattle was chilling with the Choctaw. The Choctaw had an enemy over there. They kind of wanted them to buffer in between. Man, y'all keep that down. Maybe they over there. They ain't gonna go over there. Fucking with them niggas, they'll be a little deeper. But those was on the bullshit, right? All right, and so we'll come over here. We're gonna come over here, right? And so we're gonna deal with the Western Cherokee Nation, Arkansas and Missouri, right? How y'all feeling out there? Let me check on y'all, goddamn. I know we going in the build. Miss Gibbons in the build. How you feeling, Miss Gibbons? All right. Western Cherokee settler chief. In 1794, the first group of Cherokee fled to the valley of St. Francis River in southeast Missouri, right? That's who we just talking about. Their leader, the Bow, who was accused of leading a massacre on trespassers, later vindicated, he and his followers remained in the New Madrid area. In 1811, a massive earthquake caused the Mississippi River to flow backwards, and for months, tremors continued, convinced the Great Spirit was displeased. Okay, the Western Cherokee moved to Arkansas. The Bow remained chief until 1813 and was followed by the Dakota, who became chief from 1813 to 1818, led by, we're going to call him T. Led by T, 300 other chiefs, include Dakota, migrated in Arkansas in 1809. The Bowl and his followers stayed in Arkansas until they decided to go to Texas in 1819, 1820. Okay, we gonna circle that. Now we getting in Texas, y'all. I know y'all like, God damn, nigga, how the hell we get on this? We supposed to be talking about Texas, okay? I told y'all, I like to walk it down, homie. I like to walk it down, you know. I like to walk it down. You come in here, we finna go through history. We do real history. Ain't no guessing games. We gonna know who was involved. You know what I'm saying? What happened? Why it happened? This ain't that drive through. This ain't that drive through Chick-fil-A shit. You know what I'm saying? Sonic. You know what I'm saying? McDonald's, Mickey D's on the go. This ain't that. Hot pocket, microwave shit. This ain't that, homie. You know what I'm saying? You come over here, you gonna get the real straight drop. Dakota resisted missionary efforts but it was at his place on the Illinois Bayou in Arkansas that Sequoyah first taught to use his syllabary, right? Now, motherfucker be talking about Sequoyah, but Sequoyah was a plant, okay? He was another white boy, taught about missionaries and planted there, right? On the trip to Washington City, Dakota died at Kaskaskia, Illinois, and Tallahassee. On the Uncle Sequoyah became the third chief of the Western Cherokee Nation. Arkansas and Missouri, T and the Doublehead were signers of the treaty in 1805. And guess what happened, family? That labeled them traitors. T departed from the West. Doublehead remained and later slain by Major Ridge. Ridge became a prominent proponent on moving on to the West and was slain by a fraction that weren't in favor of the treaty made in 1805 after the removal Trail of Tears, right? And so these niggas ended up signing this treaty. Ridge is the uncle who went to this school first. Remember his nephew, little Bug Whitey, he ended up signing the treaty. I mean, he signed the treaty too, but he ended up getting the chick pregnant, right? The superintendent's daughter pregnant. And they sent them down there, right? He wrote the Story in the West when he was 15. But his uncle had went to that school first through that missionary shit, right? That's Big Ridge. These the people who the white boys set up down there. All right. And so this is how you get two fractions. You had the Eastern and you had the Western Cherokees, right? Now you had the West, Cabot and them went out west. They ended up going to find them to play on the road and they started hustling out of town. Now, by the time they got back, all their friends that they grew up with was in a different place in life, right? They had rank and shit. And so didn't feel comfortable out there. They went out here. So a couple of the homies, you know what I'm saying? They started coming out there. You know how it be. When y'all niggas doing y'all show on the road, you'll have homies, they'll be going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? All right. And so until somebody get robbed, niggas from the hood start coming trying to rob you. See, y'all know how it go. You niggas ain't changed. Anyway, T, the first Western chief to allow Christianity to come to the Cherokee, permitted missionaries to establish the Dwight Mission in Arkansas in response to building of Fort Smith. T died in 1818. His brother John Jolly, another nigga, Circle John Jolly, right, who had moved west in 1817, then became chief. The Dwight Mission was the first American mission established for the Cherokee Indians west of the Mississippi River and was located near Russellville and Little Rock, Arkansas. Shout out South Wind. The government had made the Western Cherokee from their location in Georgia and Tennessee to Arkansas territory after the Treaty of 1817. Reverend Cephas Washburn, a Reverend Albert Finney, Reverend Washburn brother-in-law, started the Dwight Mission in 1820. This is real key, homie. I'll go into that. I'll bring it out when it's time, right? When we delve deep up in that. You know what I'm saying? What we at? They were both from the Elliott Mission in Mississippi. I ain't gonna say the mission was started at the request of Chief T on the Western Cherokee. Chief T had been impressed with the school previously started for the Eastern Cherokee. Okay, and this was Sequoyah and them had their thing going on. Him, Eliza, and them when they started their paper and everything. Ross, they was building the schools and all of that out there. And so T came out west and he was trying to put a demo down out west on what they had going on out there, right? The purpose of the Dwight Mission was to expose the Cherokee children to Christianity and to prove them with an education as well. The early Cherokee migrated from Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama and were called Arkansas or Cherokee West or the old settlers, right? The name distinguished them from their tribesmen who remained in the East. Later, they were referred to as the old settlers. Since 1827, the names of the elected old settlers chiefs, secondary chiefs were recorded, but listing of them is difficult to come by. All right. That's enough of that, right? That's enough of that. Let's go and get into the bill, bro. I gotta go and get this over with. Go and get this over with. All right. Cherokee Indians. Let me check on y'all out there. How y'all feeling out there, man? Y'all ready to give up, man? I come back tomorrow for part 2. Black Wolf in the building. Y'all want me to come back tomorrow for part 2? She said, "Can someone put the link to the Patreon in the chat, please?" Appreciate you, Rude Forehead. I mean, Rude Evo. Appreciate you guys in a real way. While y'all just sitting out there, looking at me. While y'all just sitting out there looking at me, make sure y'all got the likes up in the building, goddamn. Bang the like button, bang the cash out. You understand me? And I'm taking this bill down after this too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I might not. We'll see. We'll see what we looking like by the end of the show. The Cherokees call themselves Anna Your Will. Okay. Now, look at all them people standing up out there in the crowd. Where my Anna Your Wills at? Got the Anna Your Will, the principal people. They were indeed one of the principal Indian nations. That's why I keep telling. Look, homie, you ain't gotta listen to me. You ain't gotta listen to me. But in '78, when they signed a treaty, that's the treaty that the $5 Indians, right? Them white boys who married into your family, Chief John Baker and them, right? They go by the treaty of '78. '94, they built their own shit. That's when their government came. It was hijacked already. '94 is when theirs came. And they changed the name from Anna Your Will to what? Shaylaki. Shaylaki is an anglicized word. I mean, Cherokee is an anglicized word of Shaylaki. Okay? It ain't become Cherokee to '74. Now, we'll see it in history. They'll be writing them up as Cherokee back in the 1500s, 16. They'll be talking about Cherokee and all of that, right? Same reason why back then they'll call you an African-American slave. Okay? Or they'll refer to Indians as Native Americans when they didn't come to the 70s and African Americans come to the 80s. All right. But to be real about it, Cherokee didn't come until '94. Shaylaki. That what it meant. That was a word that was always in a language, but it didn't come. They use Cherokee, right? White boy style on you niggas. You know what I'm saying? Cherokee is white boy style. It was the Anna Will. Anyway, in the United States, still pressure from advancement, Europeans forced their westward migration. They were settled agriculturally, and this coming from Texas Historical Association. So y'all can go check that out on there. Shout out to Rude and Dark Truth, okay? Y'all see me up here sharing my screen and I'm reading off. When I first used to do, I used to read it all the time. Then I started saying, you niggas don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn. I'm just gonna run through it. They ain't gonna look at it. But shout out to Rude and Dark Truth. You know what I'm saying? They like me. In order for me to learn, I gotta look at it too, homie. I have to actually do it. I gotta put my hands on it and feel it and let me go. Yeah, you feel me? So shout out to Rude, Ebo, and Dark Truth. You know what I'm saying? All right, where we was at. They were settled agriculturally people whose ancestral land covered much as southern Appalachian highlands, an area that included parts of Virginia. Remember now, they didn't get Virginia until after the Powhatan Wars, homie. You know what I'm saying? He's not saying it up here, but I'm freestyling it, but my shit is right, okay? The Cherokees didn't get Virginia, that part of Virginia, until after the Powhatan Wars. Now, they went and hustled on their old stomping ground. You got Tennessee, the Overhills, North and South Carolina. Then after '74, you get Georgia, Alabama, and all this shit. After the wars, they start fleeing down there, right? Now, they settled there, Georgia. Which is after the hijack. The Cherokees, Iroquois in language. Okay, I keep telling you, nigga, the Cherokees came from the Iroquois. I'm not gonna argue with no nigga. If you know, you know. All right. If you know, you know. Anyway, the Cherokee Iroquois language and migration legends suggest that the tribe originated to the north of their traditional homelands. Okay, I keep telling niggas gonna have to back up. Okay, they didn't even originally start off in Carolinas. Niggas gonna have to back up. You understand me? But anyway, Anyways, Cherokee society reflect an elaborate social, political, and ceremonial structure. Their basic political union was the town, which consisted of all people who used single ceremony center within each town. A council dominated by older men handled political affairs. Individual town represented regional councils discussed for the corporate group, especially issues of diplomacy and warfare. Hey, let me get up out of here, right? Because I got so much. There was 7 major Cherokee clans identified, particularly animal totem and variety clans. Let me get over here, man, because I got so much. We got so much to go through. I'm sitting here just, again, this coming from the same site, right? The Texas Historical Association, Rude Ebo. All right. So this Coahuila. How many of y'all out there ever heard of Coahuila Tejas? Drop a 1 if y'all ever heard of Coahuila Tejas. Appreciate that love, Ricky Salmon. I always appreciate the history. Listen, King. In the real way, man. In the real way, Rick. I hope I ain't boring y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Tracy said she gotta learn hands-on. Hey, y'all hear say hands-on, okay? I know I ain't the only one. Be busy ain't got a wrench. Be busy, your ass must ain't been in the show. You must ain't been over here, then. You ain't got a wrench, nigga. You know, you must ain't been over here. Free the most say that's true. So you hands on too? Fellas, get y'all mind out the gutter because these ladies talking about they hands on. Okay? Get y'all mind out the gutter because they say they hands on. Bert say he 50-50 learner. Somebody out there talking about no hands. Go on with that foolishness, okay? Go on with that foolishness. No hands. Can you do it? No hands, though. You know what I'm saying? They like them no hand learners. Y'all are something else. All right, Flamethrower say she heard of Coahuila, Texas. Girl, Flamethrower, you gonna have to come get on the mic. With your little smart ass, you out here taking on men and everything. All right, Coahuila is gonna play a key role in the development of Texas. All right. Gonna be look, see, I told y'all that why he ain't got a rinse. He ain't been getting it. What's up with it no more? Black will say, no, you good, talk that ish. I appreciate it, goddamn. You know, I'm gonna do my thing. Tenori, what's up with it, sis? He said, Top Cats, you should do a build on blood types, knowing that is very important. Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie though, copy any, that ain't my lane though. You feel me? You know, I'm a history nerd. I like to deal with history. So you know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody else out there who, you know what I'm saying, they be that lane, because you know a lot of niggas don't be having shit to talk about. Damn sure ain't finna be talking about the shit I'm talking about. So I'm respect lanes. You know what I'm saying? I'm respect lanes. All right. Coahuila in Texas in 1689 through 90, Alfonso de Leon, governor of Spanish province of Coahuila, extended his authority to include Texas. Early in 1619, he was succeeded by Domingo Terran de Los Rios. Hey, what Los Rios said? Los Rios, this your kinfolk, who was appointed governor of Coahuila, Texas in 1693. However, Spain withdrew Francine missions from East Texas. And it was not until 1716 that Martin de Alcron, who been appointed governor of Coahuila 1702, re-extended his control over Texas. Alcron, who succeeded Marquis de Hidalgo. Listen, I'm just gonna say you niggas' first name. Y'all got too many names. Keys and Fernando, okay, in charge of Texas when he withdrew 1722, effectively separating the government of Texas from that of Coahuila, beginning with Almazan, the province, were governed separately with the capital of Coahuila. At Monclova at Texas, Los Ades until 1773 when the capital was transformed to San Antonio. Okay, so then when you get San Antonio, the box star, due to the frontier circumstances, the governorship of Texas on more than one occasion who exercised. Hey, y'all, I'm still tripping on that white boy hit that nigga. I'm still tripping on that white boy beat the homie with a goddamn boat pole. That nigga killed homie with a boat pole. They shot their ass dead. You know what I'm talking about? I'm still tripping. This nigga that got into an argument over prices. Nigga talking about nigga trying to overprice it. So my man, I really can go get the shit from my people. Then my nigga, I'm just trying to spend with you, my nigga. Shit. I really can hold on to my shit, my nigga. That ain't even really what I wanted. You stop me. Nigga beat him with a boat pole, family. But anyway, man, he said, Yos is short for Yosemite. For Yosemite, goddamn. Oh, my bad. What y'all one of them lost tribes or something? Sir, say, Top Cats, I love this, bro. Oh, yeah, man, you come over here, man. We gonna walk it down. We gonna walk it down over here, man. I don't know nothing about all that other drive-through. Nigga all in the drive-through line getting the information. I don't know nothing about all that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a whole lot of methodology over here, goddamn. And we actually know the shit we read before we come do the bill, too. You know, we actually know the bill before we come do the bill. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that make it a lot more better, too. All right. When the capital was transferred to San Antonio, due to the frontier circumstance, the governorship, look at y'all there, fool. Y'all laughing, nigga hit him with a boat pole, man, and murdered him. They said he ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? The nigga fired the boat up. Killed the little homie. What's up with the Money Brown TV in the building? Killed the little homie, man. They fired them over ass niggas up. Quick, you killed my brother. And fired off on that nigga ass. During the continuing progress of 1823 to 24, the eastern interior provinces of Nuevo Leon, Nuevo Santa. See, I told you I ain't sending nigga name. Coahuila and Texas broken up, leaving the latter to a single state under the Constitution of 1824, with the stipulation that a future date Texas could separate when it had attended sufficient population to undertake self-government. All right, and so what they did, they had what they call constituent states, right? And so they had different key states. Now, Coahuila was the poorest out of all of the states. Now, y'all remember I said that Coahuila, and I'm doing cash apps after this, right? We'll run through it. And I'm gonna do cash apps after this, and we're gonna ask some questions. Frida, what's your little pretty ass laughing at? Frida, what's going on? What you laughing at? All right, we're gonna come down here. All right, slavery in early Texas. Okay, we're gonna deal with this political science quarterly. Slavery in early Texas, right? The history of slavery in Texas so far is of interest to us. Begin with the year of 1821. I want y'all to listen to this, right? Because today we celebrating Juneteenth, when the slaves was let go. You feel me? What they said slavery was abolished in 65, okay? But slavery in Texas didn't start until 21. Okay? And it wasn't even heavy yet. That's why I want y'all to understand this shit didn't even take place long. Okay? It wasn't even long. So we're gonna talk about Texas. Now remember, I ain't gonna keep telling y'all remember, because goddamn I'm gonna ask the question, right? And you goddamn, you don't get paid to think, you get paid to know. If y'all new to the channel, y'all ain't been over here, we got something we call you don't get paid to think, you get paid to know. Where we ask questions, random questions, and if you know, then you get paid. All right. I'm gonna send you a cash app. So I hope y'all cash app friendly out there. All right. When Moses Austin received permission to plant an Anglo-American colony on the banks of the Colorado and the Brazos, there may have been a few Negroes in this little town of Baxter and Labaya at that time. Now watch this here, right? Slick ass folks. Listen to them. There may have been a few Negroes in the little town, okay, when we got there. So you got this white boy, Moses Austin. He didn't got to this little town of Negroes, but they say it might have been, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. They say, you know what? It was some niggas there when you got there. It could have been, but I'm not quite sure. If it was, it might have been a few. I didn't really see him because I ain't used to be over there. I used to be at my sister's house all the time. I ain't really hang out on that side. That wasn't really my area. You know what I'm saying? But it could have been. And don't give me the line. Don't give me the line now. I don't know. I had to look it up. I get back to you on that. Anyway, all right. So they say it could have been a few niggas. And so basically, he done moved into a town where you niggas was at. All right. We ain't finna play with him. But the number must have been insignificant, and limited. You see how they get you? You know what I'm saying? Because then they finna figure out how the hell, if this white boy got there and this these niggas' town, these niggas live here, how the hell did he end up with all of the land? Okay? How did he end up with all of the land then? That's what they don't want you to ask these questions. He talking about it could have, if it was, like I say, I didn't, because I used to be at my sister names and we didn't really, I wasn't really the type to just go outside like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't really go out much in those days. Looking at, all right, the comment. All right, the personal limit, devoted to personal service in the family of the well-to-do. The coming of the energetic pioneers from the United States and the development of the rich bottomlands of Texas marked the beginning of a new era, not only in the history of Mexico, but in that of America. Okay? And so let me break it down to you what they just said, right? We're gonna walk through it again. And you see these hoes are real careful with the language. The coming of the energetic pioneers from the United States and the development, right? Now the coming of the pioneers. Now this is after 1815 when we go into the expansion era. Okay, we're going to the expansion era right now. All right, 1815. Now this is when the U.S. is coming down. Now a lot of these white boys who were once slaves in servitude, they joined militias starting in 11 when they went down there with Jackson, went into Florida, Pensacola to be exact. And now after this, they start picking up, they start getting a little land, little getting comfortable in the job. And you know how you be broke and then you start working and then you start getting comfortable, you start getting your feet you start getting what they call it, try to get on my feet. They start getting on their feet. And so now these people are promising them more land. What is taking place at this time, right? Because they said in the development of the rich bottom lands. The development of the rich bottom lands of Texas marked the beginning, okay? So what they talking about, people, is cotton. They're talking about cotton, all right? Now, at this time, you had these plantations, right? Our people them been dealing with cotton and all this is a natural resource. They grow in our areas, right? Especially coming through the anyway, we'll deal with that a little later, right? I don't want to give you niggas no answers to the test. All right, the rich bottomland of Texas, a beginning era, not only the history of Mexico, but America. And the question of slavery in this wilderness at the time, seemingly of interest only to a few thousand farmers, was soon to engage the attention of determine the policy of great neighboring nation. Okay. Under the Spanish rule in Mexico, Negro slavery was tolerated and protected. The conditions, however, were so unfavorable that the institution never obtained a secure foothold and was almost unknown outside of Veracruz in the hotlands. Listen to this. It wasn't, listen, bro, they are real. Whoever wrote this is really watching how he places words, right? It was no slavery in Texas. It was no slavery in Texas. It was no slavery in Texas before 1821. Okay? And this is what happened. This is what this was all about. This is what the Battle of the Alamo. This is what the after the Revolutionary War, they didn't want to deal with it. Okay? They didn't want none of that around there because they had just got out of that situation. Okay? After they defeated Spain, they wanted to get out of that situation. All right. Anyway, even in the most favorable localities at the introduction of cane growing, the slaves formed no considerable element in the population of the country. As late as 1793, according to the Humboldt, there were not more than 9 or 10,000 in New Spain. The British agent in Mexico, 1825, believed that the number did not exceed 6,000 in 1793 and continued to decrease in 1827. So many were manumitted and received their freedom during the long struggle of independence by joining the ranks of Patriot Army. The war thought it was justified, stating that they now hardly a that now hardly a single slave in central portion of the republic. They said it wasn't even damn near a single slave. It was hardly a single slave. We're no fucking slave, okay? Just get over it, nigga. Knock it off. Not one can be found in the valley or even in Orizaba and Cordova regions, which was the great sugar and coffee district of Mexico. About 15 years later, Whitey Thompson, the representative of the United States government, did not see half a dozen Negroes during this entire residence 2 years in Mexican capital. The pension of Moses Austin for permission to settle on Anglo-American colony in Texas was officially granted January 1821. So at this time, 1821, family, it was zero slavery in Texas. Zero slavery in Texas, okay? So we sit here talking about them letting slaves go and all that, and we go back into 1821, it wasn't even no slaves in Texas, homie. Y'all just coming in, bang the like button. If y'all just coming in, bang the like button. All right, we're going to deal with it. What's up with it, Dre? It's fine as I see you, family. Sierra F in the building. Let's deal with it. Okay, and so what we was at? 18. No mention was made of slavery in either the pension or the grant. No mention was made of slavery in either the pension or the grant. It was the intention of Austin, however, okay? So he came in, he wanted this little land to settle on. In his mind, he had slavery in his mind, but it wasn't nothing going down, right? He pushed up on this little Negro town, right? Let's deal with it, man. I'm getting sleepy. Don't worry about it, y'all. I ain't gonna give up on y'all. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna walk through it. We're gonna get through it. This is gonna be a long one, man. We still got work to do. All right, let's deal with it, right? I promised y'all I was gonna come back and give it to y'all. Let's get through it. All right. However, to draw most of his colonists from the southern United States, and there can be but little doubt that he would have favored them the removal of the slaves to Texas as a part of the capital of his planters. But it was not for him to lead the migration for which he had prepared the way. The long journey to San Antonio, the boxer, with his hardships and exposure, resulted in his death. Okay, so he ended up dying, and the work of carrying forth the colonization of Texas fell to his son. Who was his son? If y'all from Texas, goddamn East Texas, who was his son? Stephen Fuller Austin. Stephen Fuller Austin, okay? Better known as Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin. What's Stephen F. Austin at? It's in Nac. It's in the Nac town, Nacogdoches. Whole lot of Cherokee shit going on. Whole lot of Cherokee going on. We're in Nac. If y'all wanted to know why I walked it down all the way from the Cherokees, right? Why didn't we win all this Indian history, and then we end back up over here. We get in East Texas. All right. Stephen F. Austin, the young man of 28, at once made an exploring tour through Texas, was recognized as heir to his father's grant and received the governor's approval on the plan which he had drawn up for the distribution of lands. this plan after making provision for the head of the family and allowing a liberal portion for the wife and each child. Further provided for a grant of 80 acres of land for each slave. Now listen to it. Further provided for a grant, he won a grant of 80 acres of land for each slave belonging to the family. In approving his plan, the government of Mexico, through its representative in Texas, acquiesced to substantially encourage the introduction of slaves into a new settlement. A great many immigrants found their way into Texas before the summer of 1822. Now check it, right? So this is what happened. So this white boy, he came in, Moses, right? And he didn't lobby. He got money. He didn't lobby. And they lobbied. And guess who they're lobbying to? They're lobbying to Coahuila. They're lobbying to these people, to the government in these constituent states. So they had these different constituents, and now they're lobbying to these people, and they're trying to get slavery on the books, right? And they're telling them all of the money that they can make, that, you know, they got over here in Louisiana, they got Alabama, Mississippi and shit, and they're talking about this cotton. Now Texas is full of resources, and so he's telling them how much money they could be making if they would just accept this slavery, right? How much money they missing out on. Now he's telling them, I have a whole lot of homeboys that can come, and these are white settlers. Okay, he got a lot of friends that can come. They making a lot of money. And we can do business. Okay, and so he wrote down a list of demands on what he needs. And so, as great many immigrants found their way into Texas by the summer of 1822, and now things are starting to unfold. Right now, when we go into Necktown, there's a trade post there, right? Now, when they used to come down into this trade, I'm freestyling right now. When they come down to this trade post, now they used to steal horses, right? They couldn't come into Texas like that, right? But they used to steal horses and they'll trade them, right? So they'll go over there and deal with them black Indians. You niggas will go steal horses, it's like y'all niggas steal cars. Go steal them horses and they'll bring them to them. Meet them white boys at the trade post, right? So the white boys started dealing with other niggas at the trade post or whatever and telling them about this little deal of cotton. And, you know, they pulling out money. They say, damn, y'all niggas, every time y'all come through here, y'all doing big, y'all shining like new money, man. Where y'all getting all this money from? And they telling them, you know, we fucking with the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? On the low, don't tell nobody, but we got a hustle going on, this slave. And so this is how Moses end up coming into the play, right? And now he done died and then his son took over, right? And so 1822, they done brought in a lot of their homies or whatever, and people are starting to come in. 1822, most of them bearing contracts signed by Austin or his agents, right? And so Austin is the one who's signing these contracts, and he telling them, hey, you're going to get this land, you're going to have 80 acres and the slaves and all of this here. The same program that they were being promised through, like I said, through these militias and shit, who Jackson ended up saying. This same play that Jackson was running down there in Florida, right? When they was trying to get the land from the Seminoles, or what they'll call the Gullah Wars or whatever, right? All right, same play, right? And so this is how they was getting the white boys to fight for them. And we'll find this through the letters of these white boys writing back home. And a lot of these white boys, guess what they were writing back? They was writing back to Europe. They was writing back to Europe, and they were saying some of this stuff, right? Talking about how plentiful the land is, and if they can win the war, that they'll be allotted a certain amount of land, and then once they get the land, they'll send for their people them to come. Yeah, this is what's taking place, right? And so now let's deal with it. There were nearly all forms, okay, Austin agents, in which they were promised land in accordance with the plan already mentioned. Okay, see, they were promised land. All right, they were nearly all from the southern portion of the United States, and many of them were the owners of at least a small number of slaves. Listen to what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. Thus, it was that the institution was introduced into Texas, but difficulties arose. For some reason, the governor of Texas declined to put the settlers in possession of the promised lands, and Austin felt that the situation deemed his presence in the city of Mexico. Okay, because he didn't put the money up, and now they didn't reneged on him because these white boys coming in, and they like, hey man, this gonna be a problem. I don't know if, I know we talked about it and I didn't got grab that money. I didn't Andrew Cuomo'd you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It might not be. I didn't talk to my people and them. They saying it ain't no good look, no good move. We trying to switch it up, man, over here. And while Congress was in session, apparently it is not generally understood how monumental was the consequences of that journey. He remained in Mexico for more than a year. He made himself familiar with the language and the life of the people. He became intimate with many of leaders of the Mexican nation. Listen to him, homie. He around here throwing that money around. And he inspired the government with a confidence in his character and purpose that greatly facilitated the growth of the infinite settlement of the wilderness of Texas, right? And so they talking this cotton money, right? Y'all know how niggas talking that cocaine money? They talking this cotton money, which is cocaine at the time. All right, you getting large amounts of money at the time. British, I should have threw that in there. Okay, barrels of cotton at this time, nigga, is going for the high. It's like kilos in the 80. It's some cocaine cowboy type of shit going on at this time with cotton. Okay, in the British. All right, cocaine cowboy shit going on with the British, and these niggas are swimming in money right now. And these goddamn Mexicans, hey, the Mexican, he out here politicking. So Austin arrived in the Mexican capital in April 1822, a little more than a year after the proclamation of the Plan of Iguala, and about 2 months after assembling on the first Congress, he witnessed in rapid succession the elevation of Interbit to the emperor throne, this dissolution of Congress, the fall of the emperor, and establishment of provisional republican government. All this time, he was urging in memorial after memorial the confrontation on the grant made by his father by the Spanish government, but his was not the only application before Congress for leave to bring settlers to Mexico. Right? He not even the only white boy that was out there politicking for this, and to meet the demands for the land that body very early occupied itself with framing a general colonization law. The wheels of government, however, moved slowly in Mexico, and particularly that were true during that year of exciting change. Austin believed that the law would never have been passed had he not been present and constantly urging the matter upon the attention of the lawmakers. Okay, he in there talking to lawmakers, homie. He in there on some Bill Gates shit. All right, some Bill Gates shit. The question of slavery presented the greatest obstacle to the passage of law. Austin believed that the least contemporary toleration of slavery was necessary. Listen to him. Austin believed the least temporary toleration of slavery was necessary to the success of his colony. It was the slave-holding population of Missouri, Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Mississippi that had shown the greatest interest in his settlement. And it was from the slave states of the American Union that he expected future support in his enterprise. On the other hand, the Mexican people were at that time passing through a period of fervent advocacy of liberty had they just not been freed from Spain. Should they not extend the great boon, liberty to all people with authority of their laws, then too, and this was more important than any of the theories of liberty and natural equality. It was merely an abstract question with them, for they had few slaves to lose by a general emancipation. It was the opinion of members of Congress that slavery should be made the subject of separate law and other phrases. Hold on, let me go down. Let me go down. Let me check on y'all too when I get to where I'm going. Let's walk this down. How y'all feeling out there? Bang the like button if y'all haven't. Goddamn, bang the cash out. Support the channel, goddamn. Before I retire on y'all ass again. Let's get down here. More 24-25. This was one of the most liberal grants. Okay, the colonizational law, which under the contract in Texas, except Austin furs, was approved March 24, 1825. This was one of the most liberal invitations ever issued by a nation to foreigners. Grants of land to which the The adjective principally made the truth be applied were offered almost for the asking, as who passed the law were well aware that it is directly chiefly to the Americans. It cannot be said that surveillance support of the Mexicans had yet come to regard the American with jealousy or suspicion, nor could they have felt much alarm in the introduction of slaves, who they knew were every day being brought across the border. The slavery question, which was inseparably connected to the colonization of provinces, was dismissed so far as the state colonization law is concerned. All right. And so another thing I wanted to point out, homie, wasn't nobody in Texas getting enslaved. The slaves that came in were results of the wars that took place down in the southeast. Okay. When you had other slaves and other Indians enslaving other Indians. Now I brought it out yesterday. They was enslaving white boys too, but in order for this is the time where the Underground Railroad is taking place, right? And so if you get caught even harboring them, then you can be subject. Your people can be subject. Is going. They're bringing the army and they'll dominate you, or they'll send the slave catchers and the trackers in, which were black Indians. All right. And they will come in and do the dirty work for them, right? And they were being paid. Like I said, it was a class. It was a class started being set up. A class system started being set up, right? Class system started being set up. That's how they neutralized the civilized tribes and brought them into it. All right. And they started the Indian Affair in 24. Okay. And they started, and this is what they started operating out of. All right, let's deal with it. Where we at? And so now Austin, he didn't got it passed. He been down there politicking, and he got it passed. And so now they're bringing them in. All the slaves that came in were results of they had been brought in. Okay, all of these slaves had been brought in. Look, we'll come right here. It would be interesting to follow the debates on this topic, but they were printed journals, leave us conjectures, and the best way to verify. Hold on, let me come up here. It was believed by Brown Austin that all the members except Bastrop and one of the other two had been bought by the expiring leader. Okay, let me come back up here. He found Congress almost unanimous on the subject of slavery. Well, in addition to exoration address to the Texas representative and memorial, which he directed to Congress, Austin felt that personal agent in the capital was necessary to intersect of Texas. His brother James Brown Austin was selected for this mission. After remaining for some time in Bexar, probably was a good effect. In Bexar, remember San Antonio, good effect. Brown Austin reached the capital in September. He found Congress almost unanimous on the subject of slavery. And so now they are having debates to put it in legislation, right? Because then they got politicians and lobbyists and they're talking about it. You have some saying no, but right now he say he found them. They had reached capital in September, and he found it unanimous on the subject. And once convicted, that the most that can be obtained is permission for the 300 families to hold their slaves. The anti-slavery men were led by Deputy Corralo, who seemed to have been controlling spirit and body. It was believed by Brown Austin that all the members except Bastrop and one or two others had been bought by the aspiring leader. At all events, they were under his control. The only man in the body that defended the slave interest was Baron D. Bastrop, right? The Texas representative, and nobly did he work for what he believed to be the welfare of his adopted section. The Idaho is very warm on the subject, wrote Brown Austin and Baxter to his brother after having seen the letter from Bastrop to Cavallas, which in some way had fallen in the hands of political chief of Texas. I know not what would have been our fate if he had not been a member of the legislature. Our situation would have been deplorable one indeed. It would be interesting to follow the debates on this topic, but they wanted to print journals, leave up to conjunctions, and best we may have various forms assumed by the 13th article of the Constitution before it was finally incorporated in their instrument. Certainly, a movement was on foot to abolish slavery altogether, even in the extent of emancipating slaves for the first settlers. All right, let's come down here. Let me hurry up. The leaders of the Texas Party seem to have realized from the first that it would be useless to continue the continuation of their property rights in generation born of slave parents in Texas. After publication of the Constitution, they did try, however, the claim must serve a general population. Brown urged Congress to consider the wisdom retaining the children under the master supervision under the had acquired youthful branch of industry, right? And so what happened was they wanted to make the children slaves that was coming from these people, right? So the first settlers, 300, they had these people and they were supposed to be like a servitude or whatever. And so they'll have kids and they wanted to enslave the kids. They wanted to say the kids belong to them, that the kids were property to them, right? Let me come down here because I want to go and get out for this, man, so I can get some sleep. Goddamn sun gonna come up. The sun gonna come up. Let me get some of this out of here. So watch this here. After the expiration of 25 years, the children born after removal are to continue serving on the same terms as their father until all debts due to the master are paid. The master is held bound. Okay? And so they end up getting their legislation passed. All right, now let's come over here. Politics of slavery in northeastern Mexico, 1826-1829. Even though he had never met Stephen F. Austin, Peter Ellis Bean felt that he had no choice but to offer impresario some advice. Bean and residents of Eastern Texas had spent the last several months in Mexico City, visiting old acquaintances and conducting personal business. In July 1826, he received an urgent letter from a friend, Sotillo, the small town in the foothills of Sierra Madres on northern Mexico that served as the state capital of Coahuila in Texas. Okay? Let me check on y'all real quick. I can't see the chat. Let me check on y'all. How y'all feeling out there, man? Y'all ready to tap out yet? I ain't tapped y'all out yet. I ain't tapped y'all out yet. I appreciate that love, little Yost, in the real way. Appreciate that love, man. Respect. I go for y'all out there. You know, this that real. I'm over here fighting. I need to sit up. What's up, deity? Little sexy. What's up with it? I'm over here fighting. I gotta stay up. She said, "Top cats out here being a history teacher." I need you to come up here and help me, deity. That's the female top cat. I need you to come up here and help me. I'm sleepy. I'm on the ropes. It's 4:30 in the morning. We've been going for a little minute too. All right, Bean's friend had personal connection within Coahuila, Texas state legislation, and he warned that Congress was preparing to enact a constitution that would free all enslaved people throughout northeastern Mexico. Shocked, Bean quickly consulted the president of Mexico, Guadalupe Victoria, who was an old friend from their days fighting together during the Mexican War for Independence, right? And so here you got these white boys. Now they didn't got, the first settlers, the 300, they didn't got their little shit set up where they can get it, and they got it through Stephen F. Austin, right? And the daddy Moses. Now it's a new they didn't raise they didn't stage the coup d'etat, right? And now shit's starting to change where they want to let it go. You feel me? They trying to get rid of the slavery. And so these white boys started trying to throw their money up. These niggas from their cotton money, they trying to throw the money up, right? My bad, y'all. We gonna get through it. We gonna get through it. So it say being proposal revolved around a simple plan for changing the legal status of enslaved people in northern Mexico. Okay, so he said he had a plan for changing the legal status of enslaved people in Mexico. Okay, so they've been playing with our status. They've been playing with your status. And so when you running around here now and you're Negro, you're colored, you're black, you're African American, they've been playing with your status, homie. He proposed that Austin colonists take their enslaved laborers before the nearest Mexican official, declare how much they had paid for each slave, and then offer to allow those slaves to gain their freedom by repaying them own value through labor. Okay, so he's saying take them back, tell them, listen, homie, I paid for it, say 500. I paid $500 for it. Okay, if y'all gonna try to free him, make him work off that $500 that he owed me in debt. Okay, that became a debt. Make him work that 500. If he can't pay it, then he have to work it off through labor. Okay, this is what they end up trying to come up with, right? And so this for the slaves to gain their freedom by repaying their own value through labor. Each slave will become, in effect, a contracted laborer. All right. And so when a lot of people out here saying they were slaves, it was a contract laborer agreement. Okay, they had these out there. They had these out there. That's why you would hear slaves saying they weren't getting their money. Or what they'll do, they'll have them work the land, and then what they'll do, they'll supply them with supplies, and they'll supply them with baskets, all type of different resources, and say they made $1,000, right? And then they'll come back and tell them, well, you made $1,000, but all of that shit that I gave you, nigga, you owe me 1,200. So now you in debt for 200. You need to work that off, and through working that 200 off, right? Through working that 200 off, they became a contracted laborer. Okay, these were labor contracts. I didn't say it. It's right here. You looking at it, homie. Working for however long it took to repay their debt to the former master. Being proposal, however, was never meant to free anyone because masters would control the accountant. Being pointed out. Let's go through this, man. I'm on the ropes. Deity that came in here and made my day, though. Don't you be coming here, man, making my day like that, Deity. Don't be coming here making my day like that, Deity. Just saying, though. Consequences and repercussions to shit like that. You know? Consequences and repercussions and shit like that. All right. And so what we was at, each slave will become in effect contracted labor working off how long it takes to pay the debt. Beings proposed, however, nothing missed because masters control. Being pointed out that they would also make certain that the slave debt could never be repaid, ensuring that enslaved men and women in Texas will be the same to you as before. And the outline of slavery in the Northeast Mexico was inevitable, and being assured Austin that impending legislation meant that it was then perhaps the American colonists could protect their investment in human property by legally classifying their slaves as indentured servants and indebted peons before the new constitution could take effect. All the colonists would need to do in order to preserve slavery in Texas, being explained to Austin, was simply called the institution something other than slavery. I don't think it's a nigga out there can fuck with me, man, but I'm just gonna keep going though. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking this shit down after I'm done. I'm passing out cash outs. We doing cash outs after this, so you don't get paid to think, you get paid to know. So I hope y'all paying attention. Yet, as both Anglos and Tejanos discovered, not everyone in northern Mexico shared their vision. When Coahuilians gathered in the state legislature to begin writing the state constitution, many of them proved as eager to outlaw slavery as their counterparts in Mexico City had been during the 1820s. Some Coahuilans emerged during this period, very opponents of slavery ideology reasoned, arguing that the institution of incapable and liberal democracy that recognized the inalienable rights of other men others opposed slavery and practices, meaning the undermining American migration into Mexico. Realizing, just as Anglo-Tejanos alliance did, the institution served as the foundation of the Anglo-Cotton economy. That's the first time, homie. I've been telling y'all about cotton all this time. That's the first time they mentioned cotton. Why? But I told y'all I can freestyle this shit, nigga. I've been doing this shit alone. I can freestyle it. It was all about, it was cotton money, nigga. All right. They gave them that little settlement over there in Coahuila. That's why we started with Coahuila first before we walked through there, all right? It was cotton money. There was, however, a smaller contingent of Coahuilans who have become convinced of the value of American immigration and joined forces with the Anglo and Tejano. The debates that had once raged in Mexico City over slavery, colonization, and cotton, those remerged with new intensity of Coahuila during the threatening the long-term stability of colonial experiments, although leaders of Anglo-Tejanos Alliance may carve out a place for cotton and slavery to endure in Texas. They also realized that they could build thriving slave societies while in conflict with the government. By that time, 2,000-mile journey, Mexico City, Colin Stephen F. Austin had already learned the abolition of the part of the latest draft of Coahuila State, Texas. In June 26, Jose Antonio Cicero, the Tejano political chief of Texas, forwarded Austin letter by the Baron Ambassador of Texas, so representative. Okay, hold on. Let me get down here. Let me get to what I'm trying to get to real quick. Because we about to set this shit down, goddamn. We still got to go into, we still got a little more to build. So let me go down here. So they were putting, hey, y'all want to talk about Texas? We can talk about Texas. You know what I'm saying? We can figure out what happened in Texas. When they got there, there was no slavery in Texas to 1821, homie. There was no slavery in Texas to 1821. All right. While the Tejano labor ship labeled to block Article 13, fields of emancipation spread among the Anglo colonists, appeared in the newspaper United States on October 20, printed reporting the passage by law of the Mexican government emancipation of the slaves in the province of Texas. All right. And so what's the homie name? Guerrero, he'll end up becoming president and he will outlaw slavery. Now what happened was, though, he gave 2 years for them to, the settlers, to free their slaves, right? And consequently, he died from freeing slavery, okay? He outlawed slavery. Vicente Guerrero, he was the first black Mexican president. He outlawed slavery. He died for it. But what this did was open up the door for a lot of, now at this time that he outlawed it, something was taking place in history on the other southeast where these settlers was bringing in their slaves from, right? What took place? 1829, the gold rush, okay? And so within the gold rush, 30 come, they had the Indian Removal Act. And a lot of these people from the southeast there, they left and they came this way. One of the, I'm not gonna say one. We'll talk about a popular one that everybody might be familiar with, right? So this is where you get your Seminoles or your Gullers or what they'll call the Maroons, right? They'll come into Mexico and find shelter, right? And they even teamed up with the Mexican government, and they guarded the borders from these settlers. All right. Now in history, they're called the Seminole Scouts. Y'all want to go look them up, the Seminole Scouts, all right? And they look just like me and you. These were Indians. These were Seminole Indians, though. They look like me and you. They were Seminole Scouts. Later, F-65, they would be, they would sign a contract with the U.S. and help them, and they would build west. They would end up building west, and they would defeat the Plain Indians, Comanches, and all of these motherfuckers. They would defeat them, right? Some of their biggest rivals, and I mean the white man biggest rival, and they would defeat them. Now they get fucked in the end. They didn't get no land or nothing, but they defeated them, and they'll become known in history as the Buffalo Soldiers. Okay, and so when I tell y'all about cowboy history, that's why you got a lot of cowboys in Houston still. I mean in Texas still. All right, let's go over here. We have a culture now. This is coming from a news station in Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches Juneteenth celebrations focus on past, present, future. Okay, remember the past, celebrate the present, embrace the future. All right. Now, Nacogdoches June 19th, known primarily in the South as Juneteenth, is Tuesday, but most celebrations will take place Saturday. A parade and barbecue happens in Nacogdoches. Planners want the people to have fun, a good time while learning about the celebration's significance. Juneteenth commemorates not the day of the slaves were free in 1863, but rather the day slaves in Texas heard they were free. 2 years later in Texas, the message was given out to slaves, said Pastor Leonard Sweat, a planner for this event. Sweat tells everyone a story while reminiscing of a celebration that actually started in Texas and spread throughout the South. I remember going to the swimming pool, and they had watermelons in the pools. We said, the Progressive Leadership Organization, all right, let me come down here. He said, we have a culture of our own. Let's celebrate that. The culture has surprising connections, okay? African Americans, we already know this is a key, okay? Y'all heard Bean went down there, and they had a lot of these people status changed, okay? Before and after slavery had an alliance with the Caddo Indian tribe. Remember we talked about the Caddo? We go in East Texas over there, we get Alton. You got Russ County. You have Cherokee County. You have Angeline County, okay? All of this here is Indian shit, okay? The Indians actually took in slaves and protected them. A Nacogdoches County landowner. The Indians lived in the woods. That's why so many African Americans today own property that's heavily wooded, okay? That's where their families began. Some slaves would actually give their children to the cattle to raise so they wouldn't have been raised as slaves. Okay, over time, Juneteenth drew participants from other races. The late Congressman Charles Wilson routine attending celebration. All right, now let's come over here real quick, and I'm gonna get y'all out of here. Come over here, I'm gonna get y'all out of here. Juneteenth, also called Freedom Day, Emancipation Day, is recognized. Let me check on y'all before we go into this. Woo! I'm gonna pass out with you niggas. I'm about to pass out on you niggas. Y'all working, hold on. I'm gonna pass out on y'all, man. Appreciate that love, God Johnson, in the real way. While everybody else just sitting there looking at me. Winston Lee in the building, goddamn. We got 3 drinks. I hold one of them for me. Marley lied, they went stolen from Africa. Yeah, that was some of the stupidest shit. Stolen from Africa. These niggas came over here, fought 7 U.S. generals. And it's bad. When you loan. It's bad when you loan somebody after they done went through all of that, right? Them people went through all of that to get from Florida to Texas, and then you gonna come back and tell everybody that they were stolen from Africa. Stolen from Africa. They came here. They came here. Stolen from Africa. Crazy, the craziest shit, right? Motherfucker then fought 7 U.S. generals, then made it, didn't lose a man. We gotta point that out. Time out. Let me point that out. Motherfucker, you went through all of these wars and you never lost a man. When they went through the Comanche, when they went through the wars with the Plain Indians, didn't lose a man. All right? Did not lose a man. This who you talking about greatness. You talking about greatness, homie. Didn't lose a man. All right? Niggas was certified dangerous, homie. Certified dangerous. Didn't lose a man. All right. Let me deal with it, man. Oh, my screen came out. We finna push through. What's up, G'day? G'day say go to sleep. I'm about to, bro. I'm almost done. She said they killed them off until extinct, man. So great area between black and white. Yeah, Marley was a sellout. Pretty say I appreciate this. Come get my hug then. They pretty aborigine. What's up with it, family? What's up with it, family? All right, y'all. I done took a Gatorade break to get everything straight. Appreciate that love, MJ. MJ and the super chat. Appreciate that love. Appreciate that love. I took a Gatorade break to get everything straight. We back on the front line. We back on the front line. All right. Juneteenth, also called Freedom Day or Emancipation Day, is recognized American holiday that is not otherwise widely recognized despite being celebrated annually on Juneteenth across the country with events and parades, as many Americans still unaware that the day commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War on January 1st, 1863, giving more than 3 million slaves lived in Confederate states their freedom. However, and the Confederates so stupid they ain't let y'all fight in the war. You know why they ain't let y'all fight in the war? Because they kept listen, homie. This is why the people out the Ohio River, when they pulled it earlier, right? The Stanwix War. I told y'all, look it up. STAWNIX. Okay. This is what 67 Bert 67 and 1767, right? Now that from that treaty right there, what took place in that treaty or that expansion of them over the Appalachians, homie, is what led 100 years later to them orchestrating the really you could say that right there within that is what orchestrated to the them conducting the Underground Railroad, right? Because these were the same people that were fighting the U.S. at that time, homie, because their lands were sold by the Iroquois and the Cherokees, homie. These and they were being raided. These were the same people who waged war and made them their direct enemy, okay? And these are the people who conducted the Underground Railroad, all right? That's what the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, and then you had a dude named you had some players down there, but they really weren't nothing. You know what I'm saying? But Judah Benjamin, okay, who was the brains of the operation. He was from the West Indies. All right, let's talk about it. He was the first Jew to hold office in the U.S., okay? He was down there. Albert Pike wasn't nothing. They would have shot Albert Pike in the head. Albert Pike was a nobody, okay? Because he wasn't a warrior. We got to understand that. He didn't even play a significant role down there, right? They used him, all right, because he was a lawyer. He was a genius in his own right, but when it came to moves being made on the chessboard, he was just a pawn, okay? Judah Benjamin. If you are banking with Bank of America today, Judah Benjamin family owns Bank of America, all right? This is what we talking about. Albert Pike was a nobody. They would have shot him in the face first chance they got, all right? Albert Pike went out and got the Mongoloids. Not because he wanted to, because they told him to. Because Judah Benjamin wasn't letting these captured Indians, who they had just won the war for to get, fight in the Civil War, okay? Plus, the Underground Railroad was going crazy at that time, and a lot of niggas was getting away. He hated niggas with a passion. Albert Pike was a nobody, okay? So when you really start digging deep in this shit, you'll find out who the real key players is. And you'll find out that Pike was just a pawn on the chessboard, all right? When it come down to it, he ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He went down there and he got the he made $3 million for the Choctaw, right? Now, you know the history of Choctaw and the Chickasaw, these niggas, how close they was, right? They got them. Cherokees were the last to sign the treaties through them, Now, he didn't even know if he was gonna get that, right? I'm not gonna go all the way into it, homie, because I got a deeper bill to connect this shit, and I'll wait till I go in my bill on the y'all know I got 3 hijacks of the 5 civilized tribes left, okay? So I ain't gonna go too deep in it, but watch what I pull out, homie. And I'm gonna take you all the way back to the 1770s. But we're gonna go back to the 1760s, all right? Because you have to start there to understand the story properly, okay? If you don't start there, then you just ball your paper up and throw it away, right? Ball your paper up and throw it away if you don't start in the 1760s when dealing with this same conversation. Yes, 100 years later, but that's why I walk shit down, right? And we're gonna dot the I's and cross the T's. All right, it's gonna when we get up from the table, it's not gonna be no ifs, ands, or buts about what happened. Okay, that's how you do it. I got 3 more left on this hijack of the 5 civilized tribes, right? I'm gonna do the Seminole last because me personally, their story resonates with me, and I feel like they had the best story. That's just me. Everybody, all of them interesting, but I'm gonna do the Seminole last. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do Chickasaw next. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get them out the way. Cause I got an interesting story too, especially when we start coming down. They have some gangsters over there. Some gangsters over there. But once we get down to the shock top, that shit gonna be fireworks, homie. Shit gonna be fireworks. We gonna walk that shit down and we gonna find out what really happened. All right. Best that ever did it and got away with it. So slaves who lived in Confederate states, right? Like I say, Judah Benjamin ran that shit. Pike would have got shot in his fucking head. All right. However, it would take more than 2 years before the edict to fully realized by slaves still living in Texas. Finally, on June 19, 1865, a month after the formal end of the Civil War, General Gordon Granger issued a General Order Number 3 in Galveston, Texas, which stated, the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of person rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection herefore the labor, the freemen advised to remain quietly at the present homes and work for wages, okay? And which a lot of them did. They are informed, a lot of them got the fuck up out of there too, okay? They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported at the idleness either there or elsewhere. Explanations for why the news took 2 years reached Texas vary according to Juneteenth. One version of the story states messenger delivered the news to Texas was murdered. Another said the slave owner deliberately held information to maintain the labor force. A third said the hold of the federal troops waited to deliver the news so to allow the final cotton harvest. Okay, which is what happened. Okay, the money in Texas was better than any money that they had ever seen. And when you go into Huntsville, Texas, homie, I got my people and them coming out of there. My grandpa was the first black man to drive buses in Houston, Texas. He was a full-blooded Cherokee. If I tell you his name, you're gonna say, oh yeah, that ain't no regular shit right there, okay? Full-blooded Cherokee, it ain't no secret, homie. We go out there to the country. That's why I get buried at. That's why all my family got buried at. I remember going out there, we had outhouses, okay? They used to take showers outside, use the restroom outside. And when you look, you drive, you come down there in dirt roads, okay? Everybody hate you gonna wash your car before you go down there because when you leave, that bitch you're not gonna recognize it. But as far as the eye can see, you see nothing but cotton. You see nothing but cotton. And since I was a little baby, so I was a little boy, 6 years old, 6, 7 years old, you can look down there. And I remember when I first started learning about, they started telling you about slavery and all of that in school and all of that. And that was the first thing I thought about when I was 6 years old. And I looked out there and you can see cotton far as the motherfucking eye can see. Okay. And then when you go into this area in Huntsville, you see nothing but prisons all around, right? And these prisons are old plantations. Okay. The old plantation. In Texas, they run farms. Okay, you eat only what you can grow in that motherfucker. And these were old. This was this was a heartland. This was a heartland of Indians. Okay, this is what this is area. This was plentiful around here. Okay, and this is why they didn't want. This is why it took 2 years, because they had to try to get everything that they can get the same way that they had been fighting ever since they've been fighting in 1821. Okay, think of the different ways to go around the law for cotton money. Okay, so when you talk about Texas, you're talking about cotton money. This was a time the British was paying top dollar. Nobody made more money than they made coming out of Texas. And that's what makes that story different and significant. You want to know the true story, the real story of what happened. If you never heard of this story, this is Juneteenth right here, goddamn. Now we're gonna do 3 questions real quick before we get out of here. We're gonna do 3 questions. Y'all down for it? Drop a 1 if y'all down for it. Y'all down for it? Drop a 1. Let me see what we gonna take it to. What we gonna take it to? All right, first question. What was the name of the first slave in Texas? What was the name of the first slave in Texas? All right, on my clock right now, it says 7:52 Central Time for y'all. At 7:54 Central Time, it's over with. Nobody answered, then nobody win. What's up with it, Battle Ready? What was the name of the first slave in Texas? Prince 213 in the building. That goddamn terror, you you goddamn terror, you something else. Okay. She got it. You ain't spell it right. You know what? I can't let you. I can't let you. First person to spell it right. Y'all gonna have to spell it right. Who is that? Money Brown TV got it. All right. Hey, drop your cash out, Money Brown. Drop your cash out. Money Brown got it. All right. What was the name of the Cherokee chief that came west, that came into Texas first? Who was the first Cherokee chief that came into Texas? Who was the first Cherokee chief that came into Texas? Terry said, I'm a hater. I know your ass smart, goddamn. I know your ass smart. But you ain't get it real. You gotta spell it right. Okay, hey, y'all drop it down there. Who was the first Cherokee chief in Texas? Hold on, y'all. I'm about to hold on. We getting money right real quick. All right. Hold on, y'all. I can't see the screen. All right, money. We took care. We got money right. Who was the first? Goddamn Rude Ebo. Rude, you better have got that right. Y'all don't remember that was the homie. Remember they was coming down the river and they ran into them white boys, right? And the white boys called them over there and they had some shit and them niggas really was gonna try to take it from them, right? So they get on there and they come up with a story about the white boy trying to fuck over them, right? And they fuck around, and white boys end up hitting one of them niggas, and they get into it, get the tussling, and then they hit one of the white boy with a pole, goddamn, and killed him, and Bo and them shot him up and shit. So yeah, it was Bo. So Rudy, Bo. All right, we got one more. Let's see. Where we gonna go with this one? Who was the first person to bring slavery to Texas? First person brought slavery to Texas. It's 7:56 on my clock. At 7:58 is over with. Let me go take care of Rude. We go take care of Rude. Who was the first person to bring slavery to Texas? First person to bring slavery to Texas. All right, Rude, I sent your cash up. All that head on you, goddamn, you cheating. Hey, we need a whole name. We need full names. We can't. Y'all, I let y'all get away with murder with these nicknames because I be out here playing these nickname games and shit, calling niggas Chief T and shit like that, goddamn. But we gonna need the name. This one too easy because we just went over this one. Nah, Tara, you out here. Boy, this was multiple choice. Tara, tell y'all ass up. Come on, y'all, we gotta get it. All right, it's 7:57. We're gonna go one more minute. Free to say, see, remember because of Austin, Texas. Nah, Freddie, you cute, but I can't cheat for you. Nah, you close. Y'all close. 213 and Trees. Look at Rude talking about Lil Steve. That's that nigga you fucking down the street, Lil Steve. That's that nigga that told you, hey, little mama, you need some help pumping that gas. We ain't talking about Lil Steven. All right. I'm about to tap out, about to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown on y'all. Now Prince ain't get it. Nah, it went Stephen F. Austin. It was Stephen F. Austin. She said it was two dudes. I forgot their name. I hey, y'all bullshit. Terry was the closest one.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?
It was Moses Austin. It was Moses Austin. Moses Austin. That was the daddy. That was Stephen F. Austin daddy. And he died. Moses Austin, he died when Stephen F. Austin was 28 and he took over the plan. He got the grant from the governor. They reneged on him. Whoa. Whoa. Hey, man, I want to appreciate y'all pulling up. I hope I ain't bored the shit out y'all. I hope I ain't bored y'all. Look at Tara. Yeah, Tara said Mason. She was real close. Tara always be close, though. Look smart ass. Tara always be close, goddamn. I'm gonna stop letting you win. I'm gonna start telling you, you gotta just chill. Turn up. She told me, Rude told me, I thought Moses parted the Red Sea in Baton Rouge. Nah, it was Texas Canada. You got real rap told you that Baton Rouge shit. It was Baton Rouge. It was Texas Canada. Man, I appreciate y'all pulling up on me, man. You know, y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with me. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. You know, I don't get too much support, man. I don't get too many views. I know I'm a small channel, man, but when it comes to this shit, nigga can't fuck with me. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate y'all for giving me an opportunity, you know what I mean, to grab the mic. You know, and every time I grab the mic, I try to give it all that I got. You feel me? I'm real passionate about this shit. I really love this shit. You know what I mean? And you know, it's a journey. You feel me? Big Mama say don't finish where you started at. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna take it one day at a time. I come out here, I'm a pound of concrete. I drop information every day, man. If y'all ain't sub, if y'all ain't pulling up, or if y'all just not getting on to me, I do this every day. Every day you gonna catch me on this hoe. Every day. Give you some news you can use. You understand me? Hey, this that big boy drip. This that big boy drip, boy, step don't slip. You can choose loose, you can stay confused. Best that did it and got away with it. I'm gonna run that back. I say I'm the best that ever did it and got away with it. You too loose, stay confused. The legendary Big Chief Top Cat. I love y'all. That's my time, and I'm gone.